All you have to do is close your eyes and listen.
Welcome to episode 1 of TSGG Chat. I am your host, Kevin Bork. We've got a great show for you this week. We'll be discussing our favorite games, Ni no Kuni 2, Far Cry 5, and God of War. But first, make sure you head over to tsgg.online and become a member of the group. You'll be kept up to date with our newsletter, and you'll also get a very nice welcome gift. And best of all, it's completely free. So check that out today. Also, follow us on Twitter at TheSockGG and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, in order to get the show started, let's meet our panel. First up is Jake.
Hello.
Next, we've got Brennon.
Thanks for having me.
And finally, we have Brett.
How you guys doing tonight?
And we are the partners of TSGG. And it is our pleasure to be here with you. So, Jake, get us started. What's your favorite game? One of your favorite games?
Well, we talked about it for a little bit, and my favorite game so far is the PlayStation 1 title Lunar Silver Star Story Complete. It is an old JRPG, almost fully voice acted in its 2D. It's a very challenging turn-based game that has an amazing storyline. And the fun thing about this game is this is one of the games I've ever played that has replayability after you beat the game, where you have so much of an expanse to go through, where it just comes up and gives you more and more story after you beat it.
Do you know who made that game?
Working Designs. They took it. They're an English company. They took it from the previous company, which I don't know the name of, and they turned it into an English copy of the game.
Now, by replayability, do you mean like it's New Game Plus, or is
it literally just starts you off at the end of the game, and you beat the boss, and you have another story afterwards. You have an epilogue. So for a PlayStation 1 game, there wasn't many games that came out and hit you with an epilogue afterwards. So it was pretty unique.
That definitely sounds innovative.
Yeah.
Now, that was before the DLC era, so that could be like kind of early DLC, you think?
I guess it would be considered DLC. Like, it was content after the game, so.
I think it's probably just because the title was so long. They had to make the game a little bit longer, too,
Yeah.
right?
300 hours, man. 300 hours of a
300 hours?
In a
That game was
PS1
three.
game, I couldn't even imagine.
How many discs?
300
game.
hours.
3?
3 discs.
I still have
Three
it.
discs, wow. That would have been... You guys remember Monster Hunter? Where you put another disc in your PS1 and it would catch you a monster?
That wasn't.
No,
I don't think that
no,
was
I don't,
Monster Hunter. That
because,
was
the only Monster Hunter game I
Monster
played-
Rancher.
Monster Rancher. Yeah,
That
the only Monster Hunter I know of is
Man, I gotta
on
pick that
PS4.
up.
Monster Rancher?
Monster Rancher.
Rancher.
Monster
You used to
Rancher.
pop the
Could
PS1
synthesize
open and put
monster.
another disc in
Great
and close
game.
it, and it would synthesize you a monster. In
Put in that
Monster
old
Rancher.
school Creed
That's pretty
CD.
awesome.
And,
It was cool. It was a really cool
That is pretty cool.
kind
It's
of
a good
innovation
game.
they had in that game.
They had a lot of stuff like that. Like, did you know the old school Castlevania game did that too? When you popped it into a CD player, like it actually had the soundtrack that you could play.
On the game?
Yeah.
That's very cool. I didn't know that.
So what is it about Lunar that makes it one of your favorite games?
All
It was-
time, especially.
It was one of the games that I could still play today, that no matter how many times I've played it, it seems like there's always more to do. And no matter how many times you can play it, there's always a story that hits you again. So you always want to be the hero at the end. Like, you always want to keep going through it and playing it over and over again. Like, it had a whole huge things to do that had a lot of replayability to it.
Were there different paths you could follow, or was it a set path you had to take?
It was linear, but they had an open world. So
Right. So, I actually had the same thought. Were there like other heroes you could play, or was it just you
the
were
main,
one hero? It was linear, but there was open world, so there was a lot of like side quests and things like that.
strictly turn-based, yeah. So literally, you just played every character that you had for your party, and then And you had the full party too, so it's not just you choose to party. You had everybody there who played with you. It was kind of cool.
You didn't have to cycle. You didn't have to
chosen.
cycle through characters or
Yeah.
anything. You had them all.
Yeah.
How many party
that's
members
pretty
did you have?
Oh my God, it's been a long time.
More than 5?
I want to say it's 4.
You had 4.
I think it was 4 or
Did
5.
you have to find them, or did you have them the whole time?
No, they came throughout the story.
They came.
Yeah.
Could you miss any of them?
No, not in this one.
yeah.
It's not like Final
So was it
Fantasy
like-
7.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
Where it wasn't like a side quest earned you another hero or whatever. It was just
no.
yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool, man. You went for one of your favorite games all the way back to PS1.
Yeah, you guys should look it up. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like a game that I've never even heard of.
No, I've never either.
But I was probably like 8, so it
You
does,
were pretty.
It does
You,
deliver
you
this.
were a
Yeah.
young tyke. You were probably 4 or 12.
Yeah, that's probably one of the best parts of the panel we got here is the age difference. So we all got different kind of looks at gaming and our outlooks really.
Yeah, our insights
Mid-30s,
are
for sure.
definitely.
Mid-30s to mid-20s.
Yeah.
Well, to bring it into the century real quick here, and getting into my favorite game now,
Get off my goddamn lawn.
I'm actually leaning towards the Witcher 3 as being one of my all-time favorites now. Definitely one of the better in the last 10 years. I would say the best, honestly, given my outlook on the game. I know Kevin loves Skyrim over here, but
I do love Skyrim, but it's very difficult to say anything negative about The Witcher 3. I really don't have any negatives for it, other than
Took
maybe
quite a
the
while to
loading
download.
times.
Yeah.
the loading times are pretty abysmal.
Well, the game
to
is
be fair,
ginormous.
Skyrim's
It
loading
is.
times were no
Skyrim's are even worse.
When it's,
So
when it's such an open world map.
Special
it's
edition
really
fixed
hard.
that actually. For
yeah, it
Skyrim.
actually did.
It's
They're-
really
they're-
hard to make it like where a loading screen doesn't take time because
For a game that big,
game
with
is
a world
so
that
huge
size.
It's
and
true,
There's few loading screens between.
but there's a game we're going to talk about in a little while that does loading screens
Very well.
very well. I'm blown away by how impressive that game is. Anyway, back to The Witcher 3. I really like the way that these guys create games because their take on DLC, what they give you are true expansions. And it's when you
Almost.
buy one of their expansions, it's worth every cent.
It's like a whole new game.
You're right.
It's
It's,
a
almost
whole new part
a
of
whole
the
new
game,
story
that's it.
mode, whole new.
Yeah.
And in the case of Blood and Wine, the second expansion, a whole new ending to the story itself.
Yeah,
which
it's
was
incredible.
Fantastic.
It's kind of funny to start with the first two just because you can kind of tell the panel we got here just because the first one's an JRPG, the second one's an RPG.
Yeah.
To be fair,
and
I love The
We're
Witcher
ki-
3,
we're
so I
kinda
mean,
headed
like,
in a similar direction as we go around here.
Hard not to love RPGs in
I agree.
general.
I did not-
honestly,
It is.
of any
RPGs
sort.
are incredible.
Anything you can run around the world and collect chests and loot and feel good about yourself is always a fun time.
Loot system.
Blood and Wine was hard, though.
What is
Holy
it
crap.
about The Witcher
Werewolves.
that makes it one of your favorites?
Content, really, because that's super important, especially in this day and age where so many things. There's fetch quests, repetition, the same thing over and over. Every quest in The Witcher, which later on we're going to be talking about another game that does this very well, feels fresh. It's a different thing every time, regardless of where you are in the thousands of miles that is The Witcher map. And on top of that, like you already said, the expansions themselves were just probably the best DLC I've ever bought. So
Yeah, I gotta agree with you that that's probably the best DLC I ever purchased as well. One of the things that really stuck out to me for The Witcher 3 was it was one of the first games that I got on the PS4, so it was a new console experience for me, and it was a great demonstration on what the new generation was going to bring to the table.
new generation at the time.
New generation at the time, yeah. And like there's something that just is always on my mind about that game where I'm exploring and I just discovered these tracks and I'm walking and all of a sudden a quest popped up and it just the music changed and it got dark and I just went out on this adventure and I was doing something before that, but it turned into this, and that was amazing to me because I haven't really experienced that before in a game. So that's a standout moment for me. And it turned into me being like a detective trying to figure out what happened here. And there was like a carriage had like fallen apart or something. It turned out to be like a werewolf. And it's just like, that's incredible
And
how they were able to do that.
Right. And it was just like you stumbled across it. There was just so much to do in the world that was Witcher 3 that you would just literally walking, like you said, you were looking at footprints, searching for some kind of monster, and you just stumbled into a quest. And that's how you know a game is really packed with content, when you're actually literally stumbling across more things to do.
Yeah, I just looked up the size of the map for The Witcher 3 because I was curious as how big it was. It's 1.5 times bigger than Grand Theft Auto 5's like map, and that's 120 kilometers long, I think. That's huge. That's gigantic.
massive.
So
It really
1.5
is, yeah.
on that would be 100.
Well, no, that's what it is in total. 81 miles for well, 80,
GTA 5.
yeah, it's 121.5 kilometers squared.
Wow.
So
That's
that's
impressive.
It's impressive.
huge.
And probably the closest game you can think of where it's like that, you get lost in it, just stumble upon new stuff, is probably Skyrim, which is why that was such a great game.
Skyrim was
I
huge.
still think The Witcher 3 was better, but I'm sure.
Well, I mean,
Stick to your guns, man.
it's going
Say
to be
it.
better because it's on the newer system, right? So, like, what they did, what they
Special
did.
edition, though, I'd still
It's
say
been
Witcher
redone
3.
50 times.
I mean, it's still the game, though.
It's true, and modding it does make it even a better experience.
Yeah,
than it normally
but
is,
it's still
so.
that last gen game. What they were able to accomplish with that,
On a 360, you're right. Or
it's
a
incredible.
PS3.
Yeah.
Still not as good as Witcher 3, though.
Still not.
No. Witcher 3 is
We'll have to compare the.
improved on every
this
level.
gen's
Yeah.
game.
Next.
It's
It's
this
just-
gen's Skyrim, essentially.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that.
their
Totally.
next version, whether they end up doing a new Oblivion, Elder Scrolls, whatever they end up doing next. I think it's actually announced. I'm not sure.
No, nothing's been
Probably
announced
waiting
yet.
till the next gen console before doing the next Elder Scrolls.
That's
They
probably
may,
another 5
but
years
they
away.
may announce it. I expect they're going to announce it maybe this E3.
The
we
fifth
may, yeah,
PlayStation 5, yeah, I think
yeah.
it's coming.
Well, no, I don't think we're going to get the.
No, that's
we're
probably
not going
5
to
years
get.
away
I'm thinking
still.
we're going to get the next Elder Scrolls announcement.
Mm.
We're gonna because what they did with
I think-
Skyrim, I think it was 2
There's-
years before it came out.
I think they're going to do their sci-fi. I think they're going to give us more information on their Star Killer, StarCraft, something like that. It's a sci-fi game they have planned.
I haven't heard of that one.
Essentially, this is a theory I've heard. It's actually like Skyrim's the future, Fallout's the past, and then StarCraft's before Fallout.
Well, it wouldn't be
What?
StarCraft.
It's Stars.
That's a Blizzard game.
Hold on, I'll confirm it right now what it's called.
It's
Okay.
interesting.
The name isn't confirmed though because it's not.
Right, this is a
Confirmed.
working
It's just-
title.
Yeah.
They're working on something.
Starfield is
Starfield?
the project name.
There it
Something
is.
between.
So it's an actual project they
Yes,
announced.
yes.
There are pictures.
There are pictures even.
It's something between where somehow between the nuclear fallout that is Fallout and.
That's a theory though. Keep in mind that's a working
Okay.
theory. That's
Right.
not an actual.
But still,
game
I like
dev.
that. I like the sound of that, where it's between Fallout and
Skyrim
Skyrim. Sorry,
or Oblivion.
So what you're saying? It's a
where
it's a believable like fan theory.
We've dropped. We've
Right.
we've gone backwards basically,
And from I think on like Prey, which Bethesda had a hand in with
Yeah.
Arcane Studios.
Mhm.
They did space really well. So if it's anything like that, it'd be a fantastic game. So
I-
I think
Yeah, it
that's
would
what
be.
they're going to release at E3.
I've yet to beat
but
Prey.
We'll
So
see
they'll
for sure.
then the if that's the case, then they're definitely going to hold off on
Oh, yeah,
the next
the
Elder
next-
Scrolls. That's
for
not
sure.
even in the.
No, I don't think that's coming until at least 2022. Probably
Yeah.
the next Elder Scrolls.
And I'm expecting that the next generation is going to come out around then as well.
right?
I think we're going to get the announcement next year.
For next gen PlayStation or
Well, definitely PlayStation. I don't know about Microsoft because they just came out with the X,
X.
Scorpio, right?
But I
so
think
it's going to be a while.
they're probably when Xbox actually or Microsoft came out with the X, the PlayStation seemed pretty set that the 4 was their kind of
The end.
their remark to it or their basically
Answer.
their answer to the Xbox One X. So I don't know if they'll move ahead because of the X and they'll try and really start picking up on PS5 or whatever they're going to end up calling it, or
They don't-
if it'll be in response to Xbox next move that they'll
They could wait because as it stands, Sony's killing it.
right.
They're fucking killing it right
The
now. So
exclusives and,
yeah, they're just with the sales this generation, they nailed it. They didn't fuck up at all. Like Sony, they have a tendency to fuck shit up, and they didn't this time. So that's why they're leading in sales.
I mean when
for sure, most sold console ever, right?
when
For
Monster
Yeah.
PlayStation.
when
Yeah,
Monster
it is.
Hunter came out for PlayStation, it sold like 8 million copies in the first
Yeah,
2 weeks. It was
it was-
insane.
Monster
It
Hunter
was-
was
Monster
I know,
Hunter
it was both.
Yeah,
but
it was everywhere. Like it.
Yeah, it
It
forced a
exploded.
lot of the like Japan had to go on and force
Yeah.
them to buy another like
Yeah.
system in comparison to
did.
what it was handheld, because that's
Yeah.
what Monster Hunter was all about, was the handheld
Well,
systems.
yeah, I
Sure.
remember playing it on PSP, and that was how you played it. And
It was fantastic even then.
Yeah.
So.
I tried to play it on the 3DS and I couldn't do it because of the wonky controls.
Yeah.
Their joystick
Imagine that
thing
would
was
be
just
That's
awful.
when I
Yeah,
played
I
was like
couldn't-
Try, I think.
The
That's what it
Switch
was.
though, I love the Switch.
me too.
Absolutely love it.
It's fantastic.
It's my favorite console next to the
Oh.
SNES.
So,
Yeah. As far as revolutionary, it's insane. The fact that I can have a console, I can play it on my TV, and then I can pick it up and go with me. I think that's the most underrated console that's out right now, because I think their cardboard thing they came
Skyrim
out
coming
with.
soon.
Oh, Labo.
Switch.
Yeah.
It's
Labo.
already out.
And
I was gonna say it's already out.
I think a lot of that makes it look like it's for children, and
Enjoy
I think
Switch
the
users.
colors and things like that makes it people think, hey, this Switch children, whatever. But I think the fact that I can play a game like Breath of the Wild and I can pick it up and take it on the go with me, I think that's a most underrated aspect of any console that's out right now.
Yeah.
I don't have a Switch, so is there actual multiplayer on it? Can you go
Yeah.
online?
Oh, heck
You can,
yes. Oh,
They're actually going to be doing a paid service at some point, but right now what they don't have on it is they don't have chat on there.
Right.
They're supposed to be doing that through an app. So it's
So
gonna,
it'll be like a Discord
it's gonna be
app.
like on your phone.
Like a Discord app type of thing.
Yeah,
but
kinda like that.
Specifically for the Switch.
But I saw that Microsoft and Discord have a connection going on. I saw something. I think I saw it on Kotaku.
I'll look that up because that sounds.
But Microsoft and Discord have something going on. I didn't really look into it.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
Yeah, they have some kind of partnership happening. So
Discord
That
is
should be
is
interesting.
really good. Like it's a very good
Right.
communication app, especially when you want to.
I was
Especially,
thinking that
for
Discord and
groups.
Nintendo were going to do something, but they're not. So.
That would have been a better thing, honestly,
Yeah, because-
For
especially
Nintendo.
for the
and it
Switch.
definitely
Yeah,
promotes
yeah,
that
yeah.
on the go thing, because Discord
Yeah.
can go anywhere.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, we know like they haven't really detailed what all their online components are going to be, but they said it's going to be like $10 for a year or something like that.
That's dope.
So we're
Which is
wondering.
pretty good.
That's insane.
Well, they haven't talked about their virtual console either. So if you don't know what virtual console is, that's where you could go on and play the games from previous generations.
Mhm.
And
So kind of like
some people
backwards
are.
compatibility.
Yes.
It's like that,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah,
virtual.
but online.
So you buy the game and you can play it on your console. But they were saying they don't know if with this membership, if you're going to be receiving games similar to something like a PS Plus
Or an Xbox
and
Gold
the
type thing.
Xbox Gold.
Right.
And if it is, or some people are thinking it's going to be modeled around like Netflix, where you pay the subscription fee and get the
choose.
games, similar
Gotcha.
to what Microsoft rolled out with Game Pass. So I'm assuming that at E3 this year,
We're gonna
that's when we get all the
We're gonna
details.
get a
Plus,
lot of
we get the
information coming
Smash
out.
Brothers release date.
That's,
which will be fantastic.
Yeah, which
It-
they said is this year, so it's
Right.
going to be probably fall.
the release date's gonna be announced, and then the game's gonna be out. Is basically how it's gonna go.
And
you
then
think
we'll
it's
be
going to be
there.
that quick?
I think it's
And
gonna
then
come
we'll
out.
be there.
You
fairly
think it's a
quickly.
summertime game?
No, I think
No,
it's,
I think it's gonna be
probably
a-
early fall.
think it's
I think it's probably
September, October?
Yeah. And
I could see that.
I honestly I can't explain my hype for the game because
Yeah.
Probably the first game we ever played. was
I'm not a
Smash
fan
Bros.
of fighting
Smash?
games. I don't like fighting games. I think it's just you can get endless comboed by somebody and there's
Explain
nothing
that.
you can absolutely do about it.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat-esque games.
Like Mortal Kombat.
Oh, dude, I love Mortal Kombat. Don't
Dragon
I
Ball
know
Z
you do.
Fighters. I'm not a fan of those type
I
games.
have
Dragon Ball Z
Not a huge
Fighters
Fighters.
is great.
It's.
Fighters is great.
Have you played online though?
I know a lot
Fighters?
of people. Are.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
It's
been online.
fucking rough. Oh
it?
my goodness! Like endless
laggy,
combo dude.
or-
Like
No, it's
no, you just
Oh,
get
the
once,
destroyed
competition.
by
once you
Battle
get hit once, you're
Yeah,
done.
you're
Like,
done.
that's the end of it.
Oh, really?
And for me, that's hard to take. That I
Info
can't, there's
Stunlock.
absolutely nothing
It's
I
like
can
Dark
do
Souls
about that.
1
I can just
all
get,
over again.
I can
Not
just
good.
get info lock.
Okay, Dark Souls 1
Speaking
is
of Dark
phenomenal.
Souls
Don't-
1,
don't
you'll
throw
be able
shade
to
at
experience that torment on Nintendo Switch very
Yes.
soon.
That's gonna be fun.
Or Xbox One or PS4 remastered.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'm going to buy that, guys. Let me know if you want
Well,
me
it's
to.
the remastered
God.
version on all consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
I think
pretty
that'd
cool.
be fun on Switch.
I think that's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Going on Switch, playing games
I
like
think
that.
yeah, any game
Like
like that is
Nintendo's
really fun.
definitely always been targeting children, but this generation they have mature games.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm super pumped that I
I mean,
get to
even-
take something like Doom or something like
That would be great.
Wolfenstein
It's
2
out.
Oh, it's out.
is
It's
coming
there.
out. Yeah,
It's there,
Doom's
yeah.
already out. Wolfenstein 2 is coming out this year, and I mean, Wolfenstein 2 is really, really bad.
And let's
It's
not-
a kid's
let's not
game.
forget-
So not the new Wolfenstein.
Yeah, that's the new one.
Yeah, that is the one that just came out for
A New
next year, but it's
Order,
not
or it's
coming out
called.
until next year.
No, New
So-
Colossus.
New
New
Colossus.
Colossus, that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
The New Order was the other one.
First one.
But,
So,
but,
also
one
Bayonetta.
Bayonetta,
last thought on
Bayonetta's a lot
my
of fun.
favorite game, The Witcher 3. Just with CD Projekt Red
kind of,
before we
yeah.
move on. The new game they're developing.
Cyberpunk
Slipped my mind.
2077.
77.
Oh, keep an eye on that, guys. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Definitely something that
Yeah.
I think when it's released is probably a shoo-in for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Just based on
That's
The
difficult
Witcher
to
3.
say.
I mean,
right
just
now,
it's CD Projekt Red, so
Exactly.
it's already a
It's-
contender.
and,
You know you're going to get a great
yeah,
product.
It's like Rockstar. Every Rockstar game you know is going to come out and it's going to be a decent game. It's,
Yeah,
Red Dead 2 also.
They're
coming
also-
out in October.
yeah.
Something to keep an eye
Cyberpunk,
on.
they already
Keep an eye on
announced.
that
E3, they said something is going to come out. There's going
We're
to
gonna be seeing
information
something
about
E3.
something.
That's
It's
great.
cancellation.
I'm ready. I want to see. No, not that. I don't want to see that.
Preferably not.
Nobody
that, but-
wants to see that.
It's
But
not
yeah.
going to be that because they just announced
Yeah,
that they're
right. They
ramping
said
up.
They hired,
They hired
new-
more studios
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah,
help out with
exactly.
development and stuff. So I'm expecting we're going to get some cinematics. I don't know if we're going to get gameplay. I would like to see gameplay a lot, even if it's the scripted demo. I just want to see
Right.
the world. So I would actually, at this point, I would take a cinematic just
Mhm.
so we can
To
see
know that it's
what
coming.
it's all about.
Right.
Honestly, I'd be more interested in like the skill tree or progression to see how that works in the game
but
versus
they're
the
not gonna
world.
provide
Yeah,
that
but they're not
out.
going to show
No,
that.
they won't.
Yeah, no
At least
way.
give us the universe.
Yeah.
What is this game?
The map's supposed to be
Explain
huge.
something
From what
Yeah.
I've seen
coming
about
out.
it, like giant.
So I was looking into that too. Apparently, they have another title coming out too. They did.
CD
They
does?
announced, yeah. AAA story-driven RPG planned to release between 2018 to 2021.
That sounds like
That's a 3.
Cyber.
Yeah.
It sounds like
it's-
Cyber,
mm-mm, that's a different
it's a
product.
different title?
Other than
Separate.
Cyberpunk?
Well, that might be a good sign for Cyberpunk. Then it might be it's coming
Yeah,
sooner.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
that's
is a
that's
really good sign.
fantastic sign. If they're working
they're-
on something between 2018 and 21,
Because they're small
that would-
companies.
that would
Right,
mean
they-
that
they
something
focus
is
on
coming
one game
sooner,
generally.
and then they're moving on. That
yeah,
would be huge.
maybe it is further along than we had thought.
Yeah, I mean, how long has it been in? It's been discussed for
2012.
2012 it was
Long time.
announced.
That's almost
I
7
remember
years.
it vividly.
Wow, man.
6.5
What
years.
I
really
watched
went
that
dark with
stupid
that.
Yeah.
freaking commercial every single day. That I downloaded the music from it because I was so excited for it. Like it was, and then it just disappeared and broke my heart.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's back.
Well, we've got
Probably
a lot
due to
of-
the success of Witcher 3. Honestly, they got the
Yeah.
cash influx. They're able
Absolutely.
to do it now.
Another thing I really liked about The Witcher 3 was the character interactions,
Yeah.
the way they scripted that.
Oh, well, they do really well with that and anything.
Yeah.
Always.
Like each character actually felt alive.
Mhm.
Well, their
And the way
writing
that
is
they
just superb
interacted
anyway,
with each
so.
other was incredible. You actually ended up caring about them,
Mhm.
which is
Triss Marigold all the way, guys. Who's with
Triss. Yeah, I did too.
oh, and there goes the bed from the tower. Just
Such a great game.
Yeah,
Um,
it was incredible. But moving on, Brett,
What
what
you,
was one of
Brett?
your favorites?
I'm kind of. I got to honestly. I got to stick with the RPG role. It's a different kind of RPG though. I got to go with Destiny 1. I can't even say Destiny 1 Vanilla because you guys know all about that. But
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
go with
YouTube.
we'll go with Taken King and
Taking King
go on from there. And the MMORPG shooter loot based system. I mean, there's for me it's my favorite kind of thing. I love being able to run around, basically just fighting grunts up to bosses and just getting new equipment. Basically, Destiny for me was basically the grind, and the good part about Destiny 1, and I'm going to put emphasis on Destiny 1, with the grind is that I was always getting somewhat new equipment. I was always getting new things that actually improved my gameplay or made a difference in what I was doing. And as far as a really loot-based shooter goes, there's not a game out there really that I can compare.
Borderlands.
Borderlands. Borderlands.
Right,
It's
but
right up there.
I didn't touch Borderlands. I didn't like the cartoony style of Borderlands.
That
so
was-
I can't say.
Animation.
Borderlands
I
was
also
literally
couldn't see by that. But couldn't get by
first-person
it.
shooter mixed with Diablo is what that was.
Yeah,
So
that's
Diablo
pretty much what it
also
was.
a very
Yeah.
good game. So
Yeah, Diablo's
That was
great.
fantastic.
Uh,
Speaking on that line you were talking about of the loot-based first-person shooter RPG, Anthem is a big one coming soon.
Nope, you brought that up. You brought up
I have to
Anthem.
bring that up.
You monster.
For Anthem.
Had you go for Anthem.
You harpooned that shit right.
Well-
Brett, would you care to talk about Anthem right
we'll
now?
speak on this lightly, just because in future casts, I'm sure we'll get into it.
Oh,
But
In case you were wondering, all four of us are super amped and
amped.
very hopeful for Anthem. And
with the addition of Casey back on the team,
yeah,
from
with Casey
BioWare,
Hudson
Casey
coming
Hudson,
back,
that's it.
my
Welcome
hype
back, Casey.
Welcome
We
back.
appreciate
thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming back and taking over
Once you're
our
done
hype
saving
levels
Anthem,
for
please save
Anthem.
Mass Effect.
our
Do what you
Restored.
can, my dude.
yeah.
Let it lie for a couple
I mean, we can
years, then
touch on
come back
Anthem
to
really
it.
quick. It will be an article up already on the website on launch for you guys, basically touching on my hopes for Anthem as a Destiny fan.
your hopes and dreams.
Basically, Anthem is what I'm thinking it could be my game for the next 10 years. That's what they said they wanted it to be, and that's what I want it to be personally. Just based on the trailer and everything that's come out, it's
Been some turmoil the last couple months,
Yeah,
but
but-
it seems to be
but we're
getting
hopeful.
better.
We're
I could
hopeful.
have sworn there was a game that said we had content for 10 years.
Yeah,
that was
game
also a
was
first-person shooter.
Yeah.
To be
almost
fair,
like it was
with
my
Destiny, I think they jumped ship to Destiny too
They did.
too quickly.
Yeah.
They totally did.
And now they're jumping ship to Destiny 3. So
Yeah.
hopefully they can try and get that to not do that again.
Well,
and
if it's
to stick
anything,
with it.
if it's anything like the repetition of it, we just got to wait for the year 2 of Destiny 3.
Yeah, and
It'll
Destiny
be
2,
great.
and everything's
Oh.
gonna
Wait for year 2 of Destiny 2, then there will be one more expansion followed by Destiny 3.
Yeah, there it is, and then we'll have to wait for that year 2 again. So I mean, the good news
So-
is they have a pattern. It's just not a good one.
The bad news for Destiny is that so many players jump shipped after Destiny 2's fall
struggles.
is
Myself
they
included.
can't afford to do this again, or it would probably be the end of their company.
that franchise. You think
They
Bungie
can't do it.
itself would go under?
Bungie will
fold.
drop.
Bungie will fold. Yeah,
Yeah.
they will.
I don't
Activision
think
will
so.
close them.
That's
I
their
think-
main game.
I think there's
though.
so
That's-
much hype in Destiny
What
that,
else they
Activision
do
will close
besides
them.
Destiny?
that
I
people
think.
would always. I think people always are going to have faith for at least another edition.
No, man. I thought that too until Destiny 2's
I mean, look at all
top
the-
players just left.
left it.
Yeah.
Just left.
And then trash it in YouTube videos.
I mean,
Yeah,
if you guys
like-
don't know
I would be one of those.
if you're on YouTube and you're
Not
just
a
scrolling and you
top
watch
Destiny
any
player,
game
but
videos,
I did give up on it.
Man, I
when you scroll
platinumed the
through
shit
the
out of Destiny
home
2 and I
channel,
dropped
you're
out.
going to see something about Destiny and it's going to be negative.
it's
Right.
bad.
That's how bad it is. And
Right.
It's unfortunate because for me, Destiny is one of my favorite games too, because it's one of the most. The universe itself is just so interesting.
Should have gone deeper
Right.
into
Expansive.
lore.
You're literally
Yeah,
traversing the universe.
There's so
like,
much
there's-
lore.
Space is so good,
There's so
my
much
guy.
lore
Yeah,
in
it's
this that
Starfield.
isn't
Mass
in the
Effect.
game, and that's a big problem. Is that
Anthem.
it's not in the game. So you have to go outside of the game to discover what's going on in this universe, and that's something that they were supposed to fix in Destiny 2,
Right.
but
Then they didn't give you anything to go
Instead,
into.
they just threw it all
Yeah.
into the exotics, and
They
you
gave
can
you-
read some really awesome stories in the exotics and the raid-based gear, but
Mhm.
they never touch on any of it. And,
right, they don't
Let-
touch on it.
it
That's,
doesn't
that's,
go-
that's
This-
the big
and
problem.
a
They
game
never
that-
touch on it.
Pulled that off well was Dark Souls. They
Yeah.
did that phenomenally. The hidden
Dark Souls
lore, the
is
mystery.
Yeah.
That's the
Dark
game.
Souls,
The
is,
items
Dark
had all the
Souls is
descriptions.
lore. Yeah,
It's-
They did that well. Destiny did not.
they didn't do it right, and
And-
they continue to not do it right.
right.
So, how long can you not do it right before you can't do
People
it anymore?
jump ship. And
Yeah,
the problem
it's-
is, with all the other games coming out, if Anthem releases and it lives up to the hype and it's as good as it is, there's no way Destiny survives.
That's the end.
like
it's
even as
Anthem-
hopeful as we are for Anthem,
Even if it doesn't pan out to be what we want it to be, I don't think Bungie can afford to
they still can't afford to
keep
mess up.
shoving out games that aren't complete and aren't
Right.
ready
More
to be
specifically,
played.
because there's another genre of game that has really taken over the multiplayer universe.
We're gonna
Bungie.
talk about this.
And-
I hate this entirely.
Battle
so
Royale.
bad.
Battle Royale games.
Oh, the worst.
Welcome to the new era.
And for those of you just joining us, we hate that.
Now, don't get me wrong. I've spent my fair share of time in Fortnite.
Me too.
And I do find it fun.
Therapeutic, even.
That's exactly what it is. It's fun, but
It's good
no
fun. I mean, it's
purpose.
easy to load up and go in and play.
and it's free.
And
That's
it's
a
free.
big touch
You
for a
can't
lot of
beat it.
people. It's free.
Conceptually, with that though, like you're saying, no purpose,
The
but any
clones.
repetition in a game, as long as it's addicting, is a purpose.
Yeah, that's true.
You were just
Yeah.
feeding a drug habit at that point.
Yeah.
The drug habit of battle royale.
And honestly, myself, I'm a huge Overwatch player, and it's
Yeah.
exactly the same way. You're just trying to beat other people.
That's more MOBA, but
That is
Right.
Same
definitely-
vein.
But I mean,
of
as far as
play
that goes,
there.
where you're doing it
Mobile.
just to win, that's what it is. There's no story to that. There's nothing like that. You're
I wish
playing to win.
Overwatch had a story. That would be
They
great.
they
They
have
have
been
Yeah, that's my biggest
progressing,
down-
and they're
If they
pushing
had
on
a
that.
story mode, that game would, I feel, be just so much better.
It would
It'd be
be
like,
difficult
it
to do
would-
any kind of story mode with
No,
that.
it wouldn't though. It really
if you
wouldn't.
did it by
because
character.
we already have
Right, but
two.
they got 40 characters.
We have 2 missions
Ooh.
of the story mode.
Mortal
We have
Kombat,
2
my guy.
missions
Yeah, but
of
Mortal
the story
Kombat's
mode
the
that you've
worst.
played.
Yeah, don't know, but hear me out.
Yeah, but as far as the story mode goes, the thing with that is that the Overwatch community is at this point is based on the competitive play.
It is,
Or-
but there are plenty of players who are PvE players.
Yes.
Right.
And
Who
you
could
would get
hold in
you would
the
get
fan
those
base,
sales
right,
if you focused and marketed this story mode, and you already have 2 missions. Even if you just made it 10 missions long,
That's
make it
still-
10 missions long,
It's 10 missions,
and you have
right.
the cinematics at the very beginning. It's Blizzard. Their cinematics are top notch.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
without
sure.
a doubt. If you played Overwatch Retribution, which I know a lot of you guys haven't, the cinematic in the beginning it tells a story.
It's incredible.
It's
Yeah,
so
like-
good.
So I'd like to point this out. Like when I said Mortal Kombat a second ago, I meant in the sense of imagine if you could have a story where you can pick a character.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And roll through the
play
story, like
as
you-
that character.
Yeah, you go through a mission and you go through maybe their whatever 5 minutes of limelight that they deserve that tells their story of how they got from point A to point Overwatch.
Right.
You get a little bit of a taste of
McCree's would
something.
be
Yeah.
great.
You know.
So
McCree's
for
Blackwatch.
you non
Yeah, it would
MK
be-
guys, when you go and do a ladder and you fight all the way up to
All
the
the way to the
boss,
top, yep.
after that there's a little cinematic at the end that tells that character's story of
Yeah, that's not really.
what would have happened if they won the tournament.
Predators is the best in Mortal Kombat 10.
Oh, so you
Just
know it, you know
everyone-
about
yeah, I have it. I own it. I beat it.
Because there is a story mode, and I
Oh.
really, really love how NetherRealm does their story modes in Injustice and in MK. More fighters are starting to do this. They're trying to adopt that story mode.
Yeah, it's a copycat industry. It's what they
It-
do.
it
I
is.
mean, all of
All of
gaming is a
them.
copycat.
But I
factual.
welcome that. I
I agree.
mean, give us
I
stories
absolutely
where we.
welcome it.
I welcome that for some things, but with things like the battle royales where they're just cloning them. And
Oh
they're
no,
not
I
as
was talking
good,
specifically
or-
about the
But
fighters.
The fighters, you
Yeah.
like the copycat fighters.
But
yeah.
they
Well,
but that's an acknowledgement to something that's smart. Like you're
Right.
talking like
Yeah.
a system that you know is making so much money and
Yeah.
and what is it? Fortnite's making money just by selling
Oh,
out.
Fortnite's making
PUBG
They're
insane.
making
was
crazy money.
until
Insane
Fortnite
money
kind
right
of
now.
put
Yeah,
it in
let's-
business.
Well, I mean, it was PUBG's own fault.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a buggy hellhole if you've
Yeah.
ever played it. But
Not only that, but
And it's
they
hacked to
really
pieces.
sparked Fortnite.
right,
Fortnite's-
that's what made Fortnite famous. And then
Yeah, because they came
Doesn't
out
matter
and
now.
they publicly tried to say, "Hey, you're copying us. Stop it." And everybody was like, "Wait, what's Fortnite? Let's check it
And
out."
it's funny because Fortnite was failing at the time.
Yeah.
And Fortnite was not going to survive much longer. And now it's like got 20 million downloads. And it's one of the number 1 played games in the world. It's got
completely taken over.
one of the number one streamers on Twitch. All these
it
guys.
happens a lot where companies.
You've
try
got
to sue or
celebrities
say
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
talking about
Backfires.
Celebrities
They're-
playing the game. And
Drake and
streaming
Ninja.
it.
Yeah.
Drake and
And
Ninja. Right there.
not even just them. You got basketball NBA players streaming it. and-
Yeah.
There was like I think there was a football player with Drake at the time that was
Yeah.
playing with Ninja too. Like
yeah,
it's
700,000.
really taken over.
Views
And
same time.
at the same
Insane.
time, 700,000 people watching him at the same time.
That's insane.
And now Drake went out and he said that he's boycotting Fortnite until they put his hotline dance in the game. So you know they're going to do it.
Oh, without
Oh,
a doubt.
for sure.
And
That's-
people,
They may have already
people
done it. I
will
don't know.
They'll
I
charge
don't-
$10
I don't
bucks
play
for
that.
it for the emote.
And they will,
People
yeah.
will buy it,
and they're gonna
because
they're gonna gobble it
the
up.
game's free.
Because it's
Yeah.
God's plan.
Yeah.
There it is.
Wow.
So
Bad. That was
But
cheese.
anyway,
back
moving
to
on from
Destiny.
that.
Back to Destiny.
Yeah, I mean we could talk about battle royales and that all night, but
Different podcast, folks.
yeah.
Yeah.
as far as
Another
as
time.
Destiny goes, It's just, I love the grind, basically. I love being able to go in. They had a huge assortment of weapons, even though they never really got the nerfing and the
balancing issues.
The year one
had it,
Galahorn beat everybody, by the way. Nobody could stop it, and they nerfed it so quick it was basically useless. So they never really understood. They never figured that one out.
They didn't know how to balance.
They couldn't
it.
balance.
So
it
which
was
is
just a
carried
very
over into
enjoyable
D2,
game.
by the way.
And-
For those people who
totally
haven't
did.
played.
Yeah, totally carried
they've
over.
at this point they've nerfed and redone like
Everything.
every gun in D2. It's crazy.
Their biggest balancing problem is because they use the same weapons and abilities in PvE and PvP.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot do that because you're going to have player advantage
Right.
when you're using higher tiered weapons versus lower tiered. That's why balance comes into play in PvP, because you want it to be an even playing field and you want someone to win or lose based on skill.
Yep.
Not based on rollout. So, yeah, I don't know if
Honestly,
they'll
I
ever
prefer
fix that.
Gear matter in PvP.
I would prefer that too.
Because the next time
Because
someone
I
seven
grinded for
kills
that
me-
for hours and
It should be worth it.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
But
Yeah,
the,
give it to
the
me.
solution is not to nerf one weapon.
Right.
Like,
Well, what it
when-
should be is it should be light based or
Yeah.
power based.
Well,
if I'm
it
fighting
was.
people,
Even
It-
matchmaking
it wasn't
based on
D1.
light would
Right,
make
but
more
D2's
sense,
not.
'cause
D2
then-
they-
It's like,
they
like
didn't,
ELOing with
like,
light and power.
that's what the whole
Right,
point of the
exactly,
Iron Banner
because-
was
to make it matter.
Well, it
yeah,
was to
your-
make
your
it,
gear mattered.
yeah, everything mattered.
Exactly.
and
But the problem with that
until
is it's not
once every
D2,
month.
It's
the
like,
issue.
yeah, exactly.
Iron Banner was the same as regular PvP, and it's like,
Right.
wait a minute, my gear doesn't matter anymore. Then what's the point?
And you're getting killed by people that are like, there were white weapons in the game that were
were
broken.
so-
they,
Yeah.
they were
They,
broken.
just,
Oh, yeah,
they
totally
melted
broken.
you in seconds.
And it was
Yeah.
if you use the it was like the first gun they gave you in the game. It was an auto rifle, and it was white and it was broken as hell. It didn't move. You put it on a spot and you fired and it didn't move. And it was people were using it in
Like 6
PvP
shots,
because it
dead.
doesn't take long
and
to
it's an
figure
auto
that out.
rifle.
Right.
So.
And the fact that my light doesn't matter and this guy's got
starting
power is
weapon.
what they switched it to in D2. But the fact that mine
Don't know
doesn't
why.
matter and this guy's dropping
'Cause
me
you
in
lose
6
your
shots
light,
when
I
the gun
guess,
gets
early in the
broken
game,
because
and the
it's
ghost gets
it's
taken, so I
a
don't- I
basic
don't-
rarity or whatever.
So what you're saying is you
It
lose
just
your
made
light
the
and you just
game,
get power. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know how it
playable.
works, my
Even
man.
even if you
I'm
went
not Bungie.
flawless
Did I
in
make the
trials
choice?
and things, and you had all the weapons, you went flawless in trials, you had everything you needed, you had all the good stuff. It didn't matter because there were still people level 7 that didn't grind, that didn't put any effort in, and they could kill you in PvP.
Not
Yeah.
to mention on trials, there were all those glitches where they could hide outside the map and snipe you.
Well,
so-
they
I
tried to
can-
fix those. That's going to be in every game. You
I
can't
can-
really.
I can taste that
Overwatch
salt.
included.
I can taste
Yeah,
that salt
Overwatch
right
included,
now.
'cause
I
people
mean,
were
it's
jumping
hard.
up.
It's you
Out
put
They
of
were
the
using
map
May
there,
to shoot up out of the
Oh,
the ceiling.
that was bullshit. We were both part of that mess, and
Yeah,
that was
we were.
bad.
We
They
were
had
definitely
the
were.
the one game mode where it was elimination in that one map you were talking about, where you could literally hide.
Yeah, that's
That's
what
May,
that's
yeah.
what we
That's
experienced it, and we didn't even know that was a thing when we were playing it. We were playing it, and we were like, "Yo, those people are up there. What?" And then we got out of that match and went to the next match, and we were like, "Hey, wait a minute, those people are up there too."
No.
And then we jumped on Reddit, and everybody was like, "Yeah, this is a thing." And it was like,
This
"Oh
is
no!"
a
Every match you went in,
It's-
it was who can get up there, and
First.
all the way to the end until it was hunt mode, and it was like, "All right,
Oh fuck! But then again, it always ended with a draw because that person just stayed there because they couldn't get out. So like, we're
Yeah.
stuck here.
Yep.
Can't get me. Sorry.
You can't get me, but I
But
can't get you.
They patched
so
that really
draw.
quick."
Yeah, and
That's
there's going to be
awesome.
aspects of that in every game. I mean, Destiny patched Trials so quick when it had that
Yeah.
issue where people were hiding out of the map.
Yeah.
Still annoying when you ran
Trials
into it,
was
guys.
probably one of the best parts of D2. The fact that they switched maps and things like that. It was a lot of fun. I liked the towers idea that every win you got, you could move up. I loved the Trials part. I just think D2 had a lot of issues, and a part of it was the balance that they could not get. They couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. Personally, I like the story of D2.
Yeah,
I didn't.
absolutely.
The cinematics were great. Moving on, though, let's talk about one of my favorite games. I'm just going to say it as a franchise, not a specific title, and that is the Legend of Zelda series.
Well, which specific title?
You can't
That's what
just.
we all
it-
want
it-
here,
specific.
Kevin.
It's
you
too
know,
late
it-
now. You had to determine
Wants
that.
a
It's gotta
franchise.
be-
I would have
Yeah.
said Mass Effect or Dark Souls.
I was just saying that too. We could always use a franchise.
It has to be. It has to be Breath of the Wild. I told you guys
Ocarina?
earlier. it
Yeah,
was gonna be
we
Ocarina,
heard it, and then you.
But the more I thought about it, man, Breath of the Wild is just a complete masterpiece.
Absolutely amazing.
One game
It
of the
is
year, right?
fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes, it
totally.
did.
There's no way it couldn't, honestly.
Yeah.
The work
Actually, at
and
the
everything they
BAFTAs,
put
it
in-
didn't win Game of the Year.
It didn't?
What are you talking about? I thought it did.
Edith Finch.
Edith Finch.
What?
What is
the
that?
fuck are you on
What did
about?
I just hear?
I swear.
What is
it
that?
was Game of the Year.
There's a game. Like, I
Words
think it was
just
something
left your
Edith
mouth.
Finch.
Oh, the something of meat and feet. I know what you're talking about, but
yeah,
that's
that one Game of the Year at the BAFTAs.
What is BAFTA?
That doesn't. The BAFTA doesn't matter because the game award for the game of the year is The Legend of Zelda: Breath of
Yeah.
the Wild.
Yeah.
Right here.
At BAFTA?
It doesn't matter. BAFTA. It's
That does not
BAFTA?
anything.
No,
matters
it
to me.
just surprised me because it didn't.
It might
won,
be like something.
It won Game of the
specific.
Year
They might
everywhere,
have
but not the
grading
BAFTAs.
for that. Like it might be
Forbes.
something else.
That's very interesting.
It's all-
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand your point that somebody
year was
didn't
Breath of
have
the
it,
Wild?
Breath of the Wild?
2017.
It was last. It came out
Last-
February.
It was
I think.
incredible.
No, March. It
What
launched
else?
with the Switch.
What was its
Yeah.
competition really?
Okay, the competition
everything.
was
Competition was
Horizon Zero Dawn,
Horizon,
Yikes.
Persona 5,
Persona 5,
Persona 5's the
Super
only
Mario Odyssey,
and Player Unknown's
PlayerUnknown's
Battlegrounds.
Okay, so clearly between Persona 5 and Breath
Now
of the
hold
Wild.
on a second, because this is something that
PUBG was
really
huge
upset
at the
me.
time also.
It was
Yeah, but-
huge,
It
but
was
it wasn't
glitchy still.
even released.
It was beta.
It was beta
Insult.
and somehow made
Insult.
it into that category.
It
Insult.
was the early release.
No,
Even
it
worse.
wasn't
Actually
released. It
beta?
wasn't 1.0.
So
It was beta.
wow.
It was an insult. It was a
Yes.
slap. The only
1.0
reason why is
came
because
out after the Game Awards.
it was we have 2 million people playing this game right
yeah,
now.
it was
Beta.
just that it was so
Right.
popular they had to include it.
It was
But I mean,
garbage.
you get a lot of that with games where there's a lot of hype. Like For Honor, the beta for Honor was insane. Like there were so many people playing it,
Better
and they lost.
than the actual game.
They
itself.
lost their entire community within
Actually,
like,
they fixed that
within
game.
like 3 months.
They really they
they?
put dedicated servers and everything in there.
Yeah, their
So,
community is
Yeah, their
nothing, though.
community's huge.
No, it's
Huge?
shrunken
No, it's big. It's big again. It's like it's come back.
I mean, I haven't played it in months,
from where it
so I
was
can't tell you.
in beta.
Like,
well, it's hard to gauge because
The beta was huge.
yeah,
I can't
I don't
tell
really.
you.
I can't give you specifics of where
I
they're
think
at right
I
now.
might
But
hop on.
I didn't believe
I
in the
know-
MOBA.
I think the hardest
I
thing with
didn't believe
theirs.
in it.
like I know
I
that
love
they
it.
It was my
lost a
favorite.
lot.
I did loved it.
They lost a lot.
did love it.
It dipped,
I did love it.
and then they kind of went low,
Mm-hmm.
and then they started making changes, and they started introducing more characters.
Well, that was
And
my main
they-
problem with the entire thing was
They've turned it around, and they recently, like just a few weeks ago, they added dedicated servers.
My biggest
and
thing,
they're huge again.
besides the act guy who could just roll left or right while hitting you, besides that, was when people had such high revenge, you hit them once, and then they could automatically go into revenge mode and destroy you, even though you're clearly better than them.
Yeah.
And since you can't hurt them in that, and they just take half your health every hit, you're dead. And my build wasn't focused towards play like that because
you played
not.
skill based.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't have
I
a
mean,
word for that.
I thought it was
But-
a really good concept.
No, it was incredible.
It just wasn't my style.
I really enjoyed the game. I enjoy MOBAs. I enjoy 5v5. I really enjoyed
Had
the
that been
game.
more balanced,
However,
I would have loved
I
it.
like
just
you
couldn't-
said,
I just
there
couldn't
was
fall
no
in love with
balance, and it was pay to win because it had loot crates that mattered in the game.
Oh, I did.
So if you could drop if you
Yes.
drop money in the game, I
You
mean
had
you
an
could
advantage.
earn the loot crates as well, but if you dropped $100 on the game, you were better than everybody and you were going to be OP. And on top of that, where I look at games like Overwatch where each new hero is
Prestige
completely
my warden
free,
like 6 times.
every hero
That's it.
that comes out for them is a DLC.
I've never
So
played it.
that's a paid DLC that you
Every
have
time.
Every time. And I think they release like 3 at a time, so it's not one hero per DLC,
Correct.
but it's still you're paying a lot of money each hero,
Unlike Overwatch,
and
who's constantly
exactly.
adding
And
them.
I can
Right.
and I can go play Overwatch. I can get a new hero basically every month.
Overwatch-
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
was even
Over-
with the gold edition that happened. Like, there was
Overwatch-
no season pass. or
Like, it
anything.
didn't
You
come-
got-
Oh, you still had to pay.
Yeah,
Right.
I
Overwatch
got
was
the gold
supremely
edition,
smart.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
really sucky.
and
It-
That's something I liked about Breath of the Wild was their DLC was expansions
Yeah.
and not. You paid for the game and you got a very robust and open world. When they said open world, they meant it. That,
Yeah, it was
that
huge.
world was wide open.
Stunning.
And-
Music was
And
great.
The music was
Oh my God,
fantastic.
the game was just fantastic.
The story was really really well done. There's I don't know what else to say about it. It's a masterpiece, really.
It was beautiful.
It deserved the
really
game of the
better.
year.
The fact that it came out
Ooh.
on the Switch,
Well, they're
That's a hard one
different. They're
for you?
different.
the
That's
Switch,
sure,
which
for
is
sure, we're
incredible.
different.
It came out on the Switch, and at the time, it was like, holy cow, I can play this game this massive, beautiful game.
Holy cow, boys.
I can play it on the screen. I can pick it up and I can take it with me, and I can play this in the car. I can play it wherever, and it's still
While driving.
obviously, you know,
Clearly while
don't
driving.
text and drive, kids. PSA.
Just play Switch.
So
Don't text. Play Switch.
play Switch. Yeah, that's what I actually meant. So what I mean is like this huge immersive world. I could take it with me on the go, and the fact that they launched the two together is just genius marketing by Nintendo.
Agreed.
Because it's something so new, and then you took a huge world, open world game, and was like, hey, by the way, you can take this with you.
Yeah.
And that to me was like, wow, that's just incredible marketing. And it was just a good game. It was fun. There was so much to do regardless. I think there was like 150 of the shrines, and each one had like a different
The puzzles.
puzzle.
Puzzles were incredible.
And that was fun. And,
They were
and
so much fun.
it was just lots of fun. You could run right through the game if you were that type of person. You didn't have to go get the Master Sword. You didn't have to.
No, you could go right to as soon
Right.
as the game starts. You can go fight the end boss.
Right.
Get the Master Sword, kids.
Definitely get the
If
Master
you haven't
Sword.
done it, get the Master Sword.
Definitely
Another
get the highly
PSA
There's 10
announcement.
hearts, you drain them, and you get that sword.
13.
13 hearts.
13
You
hearts?
need 13
Yep.
hearts. And definitely get the Hylian shield. You want
Of
that.
Of
too.
course.
Got that too.
And
Is that when you kill the lion, you get that?
No, that one's actually
You can actually sneak
at
at it.
the castle and the under.
Yeah.
It's on the backside
I did kill them.
under in the the basement. There is a stone,
Cyclops.
Is it Cyclops?
We'll have a walk.
Stone
I wanna
talus
say
or
it's-
something? No, it's a Cyclops.
for
Yeah,
how to
you're
get
right.
all of it.
I think it's stone though. I
I'll
think
show
it
you
was.
guys
It was
when
not. It was not the regular bone ones. It was something completely different.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, of course.
I mean, you
for
get
a
to.
shield like
It's
that.
not that difficult, but
Yeah. It's a shield that
Helps
can't break
against
in a
final
game
boss.
where all
Yeah,
the shields
sure.
break.
Oh, yeah.
So,
And even if it does break, the shield breaks.
you can just get it back.
If
though.
it does
Yeah.
break, you just
That-
go,
that's what I
well,
mean. It was
you
like-
can't just get it back unless you build up Terrytown. You have to build up Terrytown.
Oh, that would
yeah.
be obvious. I mean,
yeah, but
Duh.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, that's,
but I mean, if
Duh,
you're,
build up
if you're
Terrytown.
talking,
Come on,
Duh.
if-
that's
but,
yeah.
I mean, if you're talking to players who are rushing
never
through
done
things,
it,
right. Yeah,
Terrytown
Terrytown
is
was
the
a-
longest quest in the game.
it was a major
Costs a
part.
lot of money, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In time, you had to
It's-
put a
it's
lot
the
of time
longest
into it.
quest
You had to go
line
find
in the game.
guys. It was a time. It
Google's
was
my
time
friend.
consuming.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Google was my friend for
Walkthroughs at
Terrytown.
TSGG.online.
yeah, not that one though.
They will be
not
there.
that one.
I'll put it on there for you guys.
He will. Brett, you heard,
Updated
everyone heard this
daily.
right
Everybody
now.
heard him.
Brett's
He's
gonna do
writing
it.
the
You guys want
walkthrough.
that? You put it right in the comments. I'll
Just
get it on
say
the site
we
for
want
you.
it. We want all of, and
contact us at TSGG.
tell him you want it done audio and video. You want a video
online.
of it all. He'll do it right
I'll make it
now.
happen.
Without a shirt.
Obviously,
Without a shirt.
There's
Ob-
never shirts involved.
And
guys.
pasties. Don't forget the pasties.
Gotta have the pasties.
And please subscribe at TSGG.online. Shameless plug.
So why did you make the instant switch between Breath and
Yeah,
Ocarina?
and Ocarina.
Well, I mean,
said he
it
was
wasn't
thinking about
instant.
it, so-
I was thinking about it for
That's
The
about a
40
half
minutes
hour
that we
now.
talked about it.
And it was on the back of my mind, and my mind was screaming, yes, you grew up with that Ocarina of Time, and yes, that is indeed a masterpiece.
And
And
nostalgia.
that's how you know how old
However-
he is, boys.
However, Breath of the Wild is
Fantastic
the
game.
best
Yeah.
Zelda game.
It was such a beautiful experience.
It was
I-
incredible.
the music still is just.
It's
Anyone
there's
explain
nothing
the,
bad I
timeline
can say
there
about
for
it.
me?
What's
This
that?
is.
I said, anyone explain the timeline
There
there
are
for me?
3 timelines.
Yeah,
And it's
you're
complicated.
talking about
AUs?
the entire Zelda lore, all of the timelines.
Yeah, we should probably do a separate podcast for
We
that.
will do that another time. And
If you guys want to hear it,
Not a big
comment
Nintendo guy.
and tell
Yeah,
us.
you guys
we
can
all
let us know. We're
so-
gonna have frequently asked questions
When
and
we
things
do,
like that on the
yeah.
website when it launches. So we're definitely going to we're gonna have that there for you.
when we do the Zelda discussion, I'm actually going to bring in a guest who is a Zelda expert, and we will get
This is a
we'll get it straight. Dr. Zelda.
Dr. Zelda.
Dr. Zelda.
Dr. Zelda, MD. Heard it here first.
Obviously.
No, but seriously, he knows all about
Everything?
Zelda.
He's going to chain our links
He's got
together.
the encyclopedia. He's got everything.
Get it, ladies and gentlemen. He's going
Yeah,
to chain
I got
our
it.
links together.
Wanted to.
Jake is
I
our
hear that.
Jake's our
comedian.
punny-
He is
punny
our
guy over
comedian
here.
It was bad, and I should feel bad.
He does feel
So
bad.
there you
All
have
the
it,
time.
guys. Those are some of our favorite games. We'd like to know what are some of your favorite games, and you can reach out to us at tsgg. Or Wait, what?
No, you were there. You did it.
TSGG at tsgg.online.
Yeah, there.
Or
it is.
tsgg.online, the website, which we'll be launching here soon.
It's probably never go to that
So
one.
yeah,
Go
reach
there.
out
You can
to
follow
us.
us on Twitter, Twitch,
The Sock
Instagram.
GG. The Sock
everywhere.
GG without a K.
The Soch GG.
Definitely.
The Soch. Oh, Soch is probably better.
GG.
The Soch.
GG.
Is that what it is?
GG.
The Soch?
The Soch
It's a lot
yes.
better.
Thanks.
I don't know
guys.
why it's sock.
You said that
Okay.
prior, yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's all good, guys.
We let you do it though, because we
Thanks.
love you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right, we got a few more topics coming up, right, Kevin?
Yeah, moving on. Let's go ahead and talk about Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom. Okay, so for this one, myself and Jake have been playing a bit of it.
A bit.
Brennan and Brett haven't. So
Touch the game.
They don't care.
If you guys have
We
questions,
never played the first one either, guys.
You never.
True.
Oh, you never played the first one. The first one's
No.
on PS3.
You guys
I
gotta
didn't actually have a PS3.
time to get you
Oh,
guys a
no.
PS3.
I didn't come to. Well, I mean, I still didn't come to. Sony, I
They
guess,
say you don't have to play the first one.
You do not.
to play this one.
Isn't it an
and that's
alternate?
right. They
Yeah,
don't.
it's-
Same
Universe?
same
It's the
universe.
same. It's the same world, and actually some of the music is the same, but the music is
well,
masterfully
if the
done
music's the
by
same, then I can't do it.
Joe Hisashi, who is also the composer for the Studio Ghibli films.
The more
Kevin, the
you
sound
know.
guy, right there.
Yeah.
Kevin.
I mean, he's one
likes
of my favorite
sound.
composers. So, like, it was awesome to find out that he was going to be scoring a video game.
Mhm.
So that's actually where my first interest came from. And then actually the demo was on PS3, and I saw how colorful it was, and I liked that because it was different from what I was playing. So I was like, okay, I'll check it out.
He just said
And-
pretty colors, and then he downloaded
So,
the game. Guys.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, who wouldn't? Pretty colors, come on.
Exactly.
But you guys want to tell us a little bit about what Ni no Kuni's about, what style of game it is?
Yeah, so Ni no Kuni 2 it's a JRPG,
Mhm.
and it follows the story of Evan, who is a young boy, and he is prince, and then he becomes king because his father dies, and then he's the king of Ding Dong Dell, which is a location you actually go into in the first game.
Now, is that a city or a country?
it's a kingdom.
Entire
It's a kingdom, so
It's
yeah,
a
it would be
It's
and then-
basically a city.
Yeah,
in this
they
world.
classify those as
Yeah,
kingdoms.
yeah.
yeah kingdoms. So a coup happens and
Coup de grace.
he escapes alive, and then the rest of the game you are building a new kingdom for Evan to rule over, because his ultimate goal is to live with peace and happiness for everyone with no war. So if he can he's going to do whatever he can do now
Dream big, kids.
to make sure that there's no war in the world. So
No plans to retake his kingdom?
at this point, I'm not that far in the game, so I don't know if
That might cause some
if they're
spoilers
actually
anyway.
going to do that or not. Jake,
Also, that
you
would
may
involve war.
well.
You want-
You don't want me to
spoiler
talk about
territory,
it.
so
We don't
we're
want to
not-
touch the
yeah,
spoilers.
Not a
we're not gonna-
spoiler cast,
We're not
so we
going to
won't
go
go
there.
into
Yeah,
it.
we won't go there.
I'm just like about three chapters ahead of you. So we haven't finished yet. So, but I played it for a while. I actually grinded that game pretty hard.
Yeah, I personally, I've been just going around in the world and engaging in the enemies there because the battle system
Was
is
amazing.
tremendous.
Is it
The
like?
colors, real pretty.
And the colors are great.
It's
They are.
okay. So it's
Yeah,
a
let's talk more about like what the game is. We don't want to cause any spoilers for anybody. If anybody listening wants to pick it up, or if you're just a little ways into it or anything like that. But we can talk more about like how's the battle system for it? You said it was really nice. Is it like
Dark
the
Souls
type of thing where you
what's
run around and you run into the
No.
monsters and then
Yes.
that springs the fight? Or
Yeah.
Yes, but the cool thing about it is, like, you know how in those older RPGs where you pick a fight with an enemy and then all of a sudden you're in a random backdrop of wherever the fuck this is. It's literally
Yeah, the
you're fighting them right
Screen
there,
has a transition.
right where you
Yep,
are,
right there.
and then you just duke it out until you win. The game has it's an action-based RPG,
It is.
so you have the really easy bit of it's hack and slash with magic, and you have a dodge function where you can dodge out of the way of attacks. Most bigger bosses, you have more than that going on. You have an actual, like, most of them have mechanics where the game changes. So
Right.
let's say, things will fall down that you have to break, or things, shoot this thing and
it'll
don't
help,
die.
or-
You know, it's
There's also a blocking mechanic as well.
yeah, which I have never used.
And is it something?
I use it
yeah,
quite a bit because it helps with the parry.
that's my question. Is it
No.
something that you actually have to do, or is it like
Yeah, no, you
your
have
skill
to do it,
is so
yeah.
high and it blocks, or
No, you have,
have
to
to do
physically
it.
press the button and
Yeah.
block and dodge.
And is it a timing thing? Is that how it works? Okay.
I think
Same
I
with
think
the dodge too.
the dodge, yeah,
The
the
dodge
dodge is
too,
definitely
yeah.
time based. But when I just came out of Bloodborne, so I
You were ready.
I was
That's what you're saying.
I was ready to dodge just about anything that came to
You
me.
can dodge Gurman.
Yeah.
You can dodge a wrench.
So with Kevin, he ran around the actual story. I stopped at one story point, and then at that time you're level 15. I went to a place that was level 40, and I just
Cheated.
I
You
just
cheated,
went
guys.
right through it.
farmed.
I just kept killing
Which is an
monsters,
accepted RPG.
dealing.
Monsters
Yeah,
They
that's
couldn't
that's
hit
not
him.
wrong.
Yep,
It's
because
not
I
wrong to do.
dodged. I literally just kept dodging and dodging,
Dodge,
and then
dip,
dying.
dodge,
I died a
dodge.
lot.
Of course.
But I also I only dealt in the actual gameplay, the weapons matter more than the actual level does.
Right.
Yeah.
So in this, in the beginning I could hit them for 5 damage, and of course it did absolutely nothing to them. So
Right.
I had to grind
It
out.
was a 2-hour fight
Yeah,
to
but
kill a regular monster.
I leveled up quite a bit, and then I got a better weapon, and then I just kept doing it until I got an extremely rare weapon, which that does have a chance of happening. So my weapon that was at the time 40 damage shot up to 220.
right.
So I literally could kill anything for about 6 or 7
And
chapters.
that farming location will be on the website, tsgg.online. Jake himself will provide some video and some input on how to do that.
Yep.
That's fantastic. I think I'm actually getting to that point now where you were, and you're still using that weapon.
Oh
right?
heck yes! Have not.
Or do all your characters have weapons from there?
Yes, they do.
that's
have not
pretty awesome.
switched out.
It is whole
I've
spot.
The weapon designs in this game are fantastic.
Beautiful.
Like, man, the detail that they put into
Like,
them.
cosmetically,
Yeah.
or
Cosmetically,
the
yeah.
differences
PlayStation only, or
as
all
far as
console?
elemental, or
I believe it's PlayStation. It might be PC. I'm not sure.
It is PC.
It is?
Yeah, I don't know if it's Xbox
Generally,
though.
it's PC.
It is not.
It's going to be Xbox.
I know
Not
No,
it's
it's
Xbox.
not.
It's
No,
not Xbox.
it's not Xbox.
No.
We're gonna find out in just 2 seconds. Go ahead and keep talking.
So, yeah, in this one is different. They have these little side characters called Higgledies,
Higgledies.
and
They
they
sound cute.
So
they-
not only
they're
not
very cute.
exactly,
Yeah,
not
they're-
only do
they're
they
very
have
cute.
pretty colors in this game, guys, they got cute little things called Higgledies.
They-
So you got to pick it up. You got to take a
So
look.
the thing about Ni no Kuni is that both games are for, I would say, children. However, the systems
There's a
that
lot
are
of
in
battle
there,
and things of that nature.
the systems that are in there are robust.
I'm gonna-
that anybody could enjoy.
Jake's
Yeah.
about to
Right.
disagree.
I'm about to
huge
say this right
disagreement
now. If
coming
anybody's
right here.
watched or anybody has dipped their toes in Studio Ghibli's animation, they are made for children, but they are made for adults too.
Right, that's
Yeah,
what I'm getting at.
In this, in the beginning
Fun for
points,
the whole family.
fun for
Yeah.
the whole family.
There you go.
When you play this game, it's just the same as the first Ni no Kuni.
But
In the
it's very
first
deep. It's very deep.
in the first 20 minutes of the game, you just sit there going,
Yeah.
"Fuck."
Yeah, it's very emotional.
Right.
You start crying. You're like, "No, why?"
So it may be
Yeah.
animated, and it may have that kind of that
That
like
childlike
Studio
vibe.
Ghibli has.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's
I mean,
not- it's
both
not
the main
specifically-
characters are kids,
Right.
so
But they also go through horrible
Yes.
tragedies.
They go through
It's kinda
terrible
like-
things,
Like
yeah.
their
Kind of
kingdom's
like
being usurped.
Yeah.
From
Yes.
their perspective.
It's bad.
Well, the
Everyone,
first one
it's
was not like that. The first
a
one,
kid's
the
game.
first one for me was way more emotional than this one is.
That's
So far,
also true, but this is
Yeah.
so far. And
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot more things coming.
Right.
That's gonna hit us for the loop.
Do you enjoy
It's
it
gonna
more
hit
than the
us.
first, Jake?
Combat wise, hell yeah.
Combat wise, yeah.
the first one was more magic based.
The first one was
The first
turn
one was
based.
Was that-
turn based. It was all
Oh.
magic.
Wasn't
it was
didn't you
it
use
was
like
time based.
monsters to fight instead of your own self?
You
or-
used
Yeah, you had
what
you
were
had.
they called?
I
Do you remember
don't
what they were
know.
called?
It's
Pokemon?
You had to. It was kind of. It was to compare it to something. Yes, because when you fought something, you could collect them. The monsters you fought were the ones you
Would you
collected
say
to then
Digimon-esque?
Catch 'em all.
fight them. No, I did not catch them.
it's hard.
There were so many of them.
To be fair,
And you
I-
had to get candy, and you had to feed the candies to these things to
Like rare
So
candy?
level
easier
them
to
up.
catch.
The rarer the
Oh,
candy,
literally. rare
Oh, God.
candies.
And they
There were
leveled up.
rare
Did they
ones, yeah.
evolve when you fed them?
They did
went
evolve.
Three
Three
times.
stages, yeah.
Three
Oh, wow.
stages.
This
yeah.
is
So Pokemon understood.
Pretty much.
guys.
yeah.
You know, Kuni won.
Probably why they
Pokemon.
flipped away from that.
Can I-
so the copyright wasn't
Can I ask the ones who haven't played it yet? Have you guys seen any of the Studio Ghibli films?
I have not.
No.
You really haven't. You guys both watch anime and you haven't seen a Studio Ghibli film.
I think I remember.
Don't
the
watch animated films is probably
Yes,
why. I'm
like,
more for the series and shows.
These
You
you
should.
should make an
the
exception.
thing.
Yes.
The thing with me is the reason I like anime
They're
and I like
quick.
watching anime. I can sit down and I can watch a whole season in 2 hours.
Oh, what? Hold on.
Hold on.
12.
I was gonna say-
So
What would- What should they start with? I'm going to say either
Princess
My
Mononoke.
Neighbor Totoro or Princess Mononoke.
Princess Mononoke. It's a lot more action packed. My Neighbor Totoro.
Where can those
I've
be
never
found?
even seen that myself.
Oh, that's awesome.
but like,
Isn't Mononoke in Ni no Kuni?
No.
No.
like
No.
Netflix.
You can
Hulu.
you could probably
They are now in the U.S.
Funimation.
They are owned by Disney,
so you should be able to find them on Netflix if
and they actually used A-list actors to voice.
yes.
Is Ryan Reynolds in any?
No,
Patrick Stewart.
not.
Patrick
Patrick
Stewart
Stewart is-
was in the
that's
name
not
the
Ryan
name,
Reynolds.
name of
No.
the, not the name of the wind. It was the
And
Wind
Ryan
Valley
Reynolds,
Nausicaa.
if you're
If it's not
watching-
Deadpool.
Oh, greatly appreciate Deadpool.
Right.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for
Ryan
pushing for that
Reynolds.
for a decade. We appreciate that.
But no,
we
I,
appreciate you.
what I'm
Also, why'd they kill Hugh Jackman? What was that?
But he wanted out.
Spoilers.
but here's
He's like 60.
Yeah.
But here's the thing
Probably.
about this. The thing that why I asked about the Studio Ghibli thing is because the actual stories that they have are, it's like you're watching a kid film, but they're very adult.
Right.
Like every single concept that you're dealing with throughout the film, whether it be death or agreeing to things or like accepting terms of how life is, it's all very adult.
Right.
So this game, you are playing a kid.
Kind of like Bambi, where his mother died.
Factual. The same company. Well,
right.
Disney took Studio Ghibli in the sense of saying, "Wow, we like your shit. Please."
And that's
Send
the
it
thing
to
with
us.
companies
Yeah.
like Disney. There's always a deeper
Yeah.
meaning behind what you're saying.
I mean, if you look at anime, if you look at any anime, basically, it's always going to have that kind of animation, that kiddie, that animated look. But any anime, they really get into like friendship and loyalty and deep meaning,
betrayal.
and it looks like it's always going to look like that animated.
The thing
it's
about
an anime.
Naruto.
That's
Anime has
the-
always been a thing where it's not a kid's cartoon. It's
Right.
it's
Right.
it's
Well,
It's-
it depends on what
It's
you're
a-
talking
it's a-
Depends
well-
on which
because-
anime.
I mean,
Yeah.
a Death Note is not for kids.
No, definitely not.
But the
That's
Shonen
kids
Jump
who like
stuff,
awesome
like Naruto and
shows.
stuff,
Tokyo
that's
Ghoul.
totally for kids.
Let's
Okay, Tokyo Ghoul. I'm not gonna
gonna
my
have children watch that.
PSA announcement. Please don't
Parents
watch
out there
it.
who do not
Kids
watch
should
Tokyo Ghoul.
send some mature
I'm not familiar
Have them
with
watch Naruto.
Censored. Naruto's great.
There you
Shonen
go.
Jump stuff. is
bonsai
kids.
and all
Yeah,
that
Bleach
stuff.
is decent.
Believe it and all that.
Oh, Bleach has some.
Bleach is...
Bleach is
demonic elements.
Bleach is Shonen Jump.
Bleach is pretty good. I like the music for Bleach.
8,000 episodes long.
So-
I'm just warning
Well,
you.
no,
I
that's all
digress.
filler. It's
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
pretty
It
short.
is-
100% digress.
If you
Let's pull
skip all
back.
the filler episodes...
If you skip all the
you'll
filler
watch 10
episodes, there's
of
only
Bleach.
think like 300 episodes.
Only 300.
Only 300.
Yeah, just so you can
That's on-
smash that out.
That's about a month.
And he power levels every other episode or so.
They're
so
pretty
enjoy
much
that.
meaningless, just like DBZ. So much
yes.
power
Accurate.
everywhere.
Also excellent for kids, though.
Yeah, it is.
To pull the reins back
It's
here,
pretty deep.
the reason why I
This
was
is an
talking,
anime podcast. Yeah.
the reason why I was
It's
talking
getting
about
yet.
Studio Ghibli was because it's definitely something to recommend, so you guys get the understanding of what we have experienced with it. Like,
Right.
I'm gonna. Can I talk about Ni no Kuni 1 now that it's been?
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
Yeah,
in the
you're good.
beginning of Ni no Kuni 1, the main character's mom dies, saving his life from being
Spoilers.
drowned. So yeah, spoilers by the way. If you guys haven't played that, and
it's been so long.
Seconds.
yeah.
It's
true.
the beginning.
In the
of
first 20 minutes of the game, when they're teaching you like,
Like,
here's how to
that's the whole
walk,
point of the
game.
here's how to jump, go ahead and get
So,
drowned,
why are
kid.
you learning
Like,
how
And
to
your
walk?
mom dies.
the whole point of the game is that his mom died, and
he wants to.
his stuffed animal comes to life
Yeah.
and
Well,
takes
that's
him.
terrifying.
It takes him to a different world, a parallel world,
Right.
Yep.
where
So basically,
they
this kid is
exist
coping
in
with
their
his mother's
parallel
death.
world. So he thought that if he could save his mom in the
In the
parallel
parallel
world,
universe.
he
He
would
could
save her in the real world.
Yeah. So
And that's
That is
that's,
tragic.
That is
I will
tragic.
cry about that later tonight, folks.
That story is so emotional.
and of course they hit you
Save her.
with a pretty close doozy for this
Probably
one
not gonna
too.
Spoil that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not going to touch on that one, but the first one, it's super deep for a kid's game.
It totally is. And the battle system in the first one, even though
Challenging. I couldn't beat it.
No.
We talked about this.
He
Yeah.
can.
I-
Did you beat it, Kevin?
I destroyed it.
Kevin destroyed it, folks.
Kevin
Jake
destroyed
didn't
it.
do it.
And
Jake's not a good.
I
I'm-
shamed him.
I messed out. I missed one thing.
Game of Thrones.
He
shit.
gave up
I get
on
my,
the last boss,
yeah, I missed one thing.
and I said to him, "Yeah, I didn't even get hit on the last boss."
I didn't
Kevin
give
didn't even
up.
get hit,
There
guys.
was there's not a give up.
And
it
he
was
said
more like
to me,
I got
"How
dead.
is that even
Didn't
possible?"
get hit.
Now, did Jake rush to the game? Did he do something
No,
different?
I
Did
he
missed-
did something different.
I missed something. I missed something apparently. Like that.
He,
like a really good
he
monster,
missed some
or-
things. Yeah,
Yeah,
he didn't,
there was-
were spells he didn't have
yeah.
that I had,
Yeah.
That were
and that's
very
why I didn't get
important.
hit.
Gotcha.
And then when I said the spell to him, he said, "What is that?"
What the fuck was that? Like,
And I
So
said,
this man
"Okay."
bought a JRPG and skipped
And
portions
didn't
of it.
search every corner of the world.
hold up, guys.
Okay.
Whoa.
Understood.
Hold on. No, don't.
This is Jacob, by the way.
Okay, don't you two point the gun at me right now. Okay, so it's. Hey, even sometimes.
Persona 5, I explored every corner of
I
that game. Most
destroyed
of that
that
was like a
game.
random chest that
I
didn't do
I
anything.
suplexed that
I have
game
a
so hard.
confession. I have not played Persona 5.
Suplex that game.
It's fun.
Worth picking up.
Enjoy.
Beautiful
Yeah.
game, great music, great atmosphere.
Very good music.
Have you guys played any other Personas?
I have not.
You
You
My
should
first
rock that out,
forte
man.
in
But I think Persona 4 is on the network for
So
PlayStation.
already.
So
Is
if you guys enjoy Ni no Kuni,
Yeah.
the Tales of Bersaria.
Jake's
Have-
a huge Tales fan.
Me
I
too.
know.
I love it.
Have you played any of those?
Tales. I played a Tales game that a friend of mine let me borrow.
I don't know
His
who
name
that
was
fucker
Jake.
is. Oh my god.
And he goes, "You have to play this game. It's incredible." And I was like, "All right, man, I'll play it." So it was Tales of Grace's F.
It was a good game.
So I played it, and I wanted to stab my eyes out. And I wanted to pour solder in my ears. Because the visuals and voice acting were the worst I have ever seen.
It was. It
Any
wasn't.
game ever?
However, as bad as that was, the battle system was
On
so
point.
good.
Yeah.
It was so good.
They
Did
do
you
sound
finish it,
like
though?
they sound like
I
similar
finished it.
games.
Yeah,
I had to finish it.
All
Like,
the Tales of
just
games
the
are
battle
connected
system
in the
was just
sense
too
that they
good.
are Tales. It's like a Final Fantasy
High
game.
endorsement.
Absolutely.
For
When-
the worst visuals
I know.
you've ever
That's-
seen.
that's what I
You still
mean.
played
Like,
It was still
This
graphically
is
good.
this is how bad it is. I'm going to give away. This is kind of like a
God.
minor spoiler.
Yeah, please, because no one ever's gonna play this game
Minor
anyways.
No one
spoiler
will
for
play it.
Tales of Grace's F incoming.
So
2008.
it's all about like no, I think it was before that maybe. It may
Okay,
have
this
been
was before 2008, so if you're
guys
playing
haven't played
it,
Tales of Grace's F.
you're never gonna. We're gonna move past that. Go ahead and spoil, Kevin.
Well, it may have been after. I don't know. But anyway, so this is a
Probably
tale
not.
of friendship, and so there's a king
Those are overrated.
who's he's evil, and you fight this guy over and over and over, and he comes every time your entire group is doing something and they're
You become
about to
friends
do
at the
something.
end. Calling it.
This
He
dude
just jumps in.
flies in.
This
He just
shithead is
flies in. And they're like,
100%.
oh no! Here he comes. That's an actual line.
Oh no, here he comes.
Oh no!
I
he's
assume
here.
by like a D rank actor.
No, we can change him.
So-
Things like that.
so-
And then he's coming and he's like, "No, y'all ain't changing me. I'm going over to that crystal and I'm taking it." And
So-
they're like, "No, we're going to defend the crystal."
Word for word. This
Let me
is script.
let me just go just kind of put a little bit more like a little bit more of a footnote there. The main character, these two were friends at one point.
They were best friends.
Oh, okay.
And of course they were like inseparable. And then
Yeah.
one I forgot what part of it, but they got separated. No, they weren't brothers.
Inseparable.
No,
they weren't brothers.
but
They-
separated.
So they got separated. They got
Well, they got separated because he
Thus-
was the
taken.
king. He was the king, and
Yeah.
they moved.
So this
Not inseparable.
so the main character Kun of the story, he's like, "Oh no. My friend is over there. He's turned evil."
Yeah,
Spot
but
on.
he's my friend. We
But-
can't kill him.
But he's my friend. We have to save him.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how
They
well that
actually
works.
hired Jake to do the voice.
It's pretty
Jake.
much.
I actually
If close
voiced-
my eyes, it's
Actually-
him.
I voice acted every single part of that.
himself.
You did all
I
with this
I
game.
also did the Foley too. I was like, shing, shing.
So he's coming in for the crystal, and the whole group's like, "No, we have to stop him."
Everybody,
He flies over them, takes the crystal, and flies away.
everybody. Well, after a short fight, obviously, because you have to fight him at least once.
Yeah,
and you
So-
win, and then he gets it anyway.
yeah, he takes it.
Yeah. So
he just flies away.
everybody,
It's like-
everybody except for the main character is like, dude, are you okay? Like, are you all right in the head, my man? Because like this is this is starting to become dumb.
The main character's like, I don't understand.
He's my friend.
He's my friend. Why would
How
he
is
do
he
this?
doing this? Why?
That repeats.
Constantly.
700
That whole
times.
scenario
So it's actually
repeats.
the whole thing of this is it's actually Tales of Graces, and there's going to be a colon here. This is what they should have called it: the power of friendship, and ended it right there. I agree with you.
Save his friend.
No, I agree with you.
No, he doesn't.
wait.
This is a tale of
We
friendship
gotta pause.
that ends in a dead friend.
I don't think he
This
saves
is
him.
horrific. The F stood for friendship and finished with failure. That's what I'm hearing.
No, I think
That's good.
well
The
because
friendship ended.
it's discovered that the king is not himself.
Yeah, he's like some type of monster.
He's
Okay, so he's
consumed
been
by
captured.
a demon. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it was like a demon, and then the main character actually absorbs the demon
and then
into himself,
becomes friends with him.
and then becomes friends with the demon.
Yep.
He and the demon.
This kid's-
Because
this kid's
he-
incredible.
This kid doesn't want to kill anybody,
Nope.
except for the monsters in the world.
He's all
He
about
destroy
friendship.
all them.
Yeah, fuck those monsters though.
Except he absorbs
This
the
demon-
demon.
But he absorbs the
Demons
demon, and
is
actually
blood
his eye changes color.
Yeah.
And like the demon gets to see the world. He
Yeah.
wants to show the demon
The
why
goodness
not
in
to
the
destroy
world.
the world.
Right.
Yeah.
So that I mean, it's kind of it's
After
just,
listening to this
the
game, I'm
writing
going to
is-
say, go ahead, demon, destroy the world. We don't deserve it.
It was it
I wish the
honestly.
really
demon
don't
could just
deserve it.
have made my disc explode.
Well, technically, it was my disc, so please no.
Jake's disc
It
should
was
have
Jake's
exploded.
disc, so it should definitely have exploded.
I thought the game was good. It was good.
Battle system.
He will
was-
defend
and the
this.
colors.
If I was to give it a 1 out of 10, I'd give it a 6. It's not super bad. It's not. Oh my god, that eye roll,
Six.
ladies and
Kevin's
gentlemen. There
face
was
just gave it 3.
there was an
Name
eye
of the
roll.
Had an
podcast,
aneurysm. I don't know
TSGG, semicolon F.
Can we do that? Can we?
Friendship to the end.
Our first episode should be TSGG F.
That's the ranking we're giving this based on this game.
But all the other
But-
Tales of series have different flaws. They're
Right.
so
Absolutely.
good.
That's the only one.
Berseria was amazing.
Bersaria got so repetitive, it was insane.
The fighting, yeah.
And
'cause-
honestly, the problem with it was they actually made you go back into the game, and you were literally traversing back and forth
Yeah,
through the
it's awful.
exact same areas.
you know, I love
It's so
the thing
bad.
that I did like about it was
Play
like
JRPG, I would Nino Kuni or a Persona game, probably the way
Without
to
a doubt.
start.
You should play them
Without
both.
a doubt.
the Shin Megami
Play 'em
Tensei
both.
games are really good. That's where Persona came from.
Don't
That's
pick
the
one or the other. Play them
Play 'em
both.
both.
Play them all.
I mean, if you
Not
can
a
play
huge
every game, just play every
JRPG
game, honestly.
Yeah, really.
RPG guy
Touch as much as
myself.
you can.
Yeah,
But
touch is
Persona 5.
That's honestly one of our
definitely
biggest
worth
things
the
here at
effort.
TSGG, guys. We want to get every game out there for you. So if we bring up a game or something you've never heard of, let us know. Comment in the chat. Let us
You
know.
want us to discuss it?
TSGG.online. We're right on the website. Just come check us out. We're trying to get every game out there for you. Basically, there's 5,000 games per year, pretty much released, and we hear about 50 of them. So we're trying to
more than
bring that
5,000.
out for you guys.
more than
Yeah.
5,000.
Yeah.
Of course, feel free to
Understand.
subscribe. And you'll
It-
actually get our weekly
you know,
newsletter.
I mean,
updates on the
it's-
podcast.
Yeah, and it's just going to continue to go on.
Yeah,
like
or
there's
not
going to be
a doubt.
more and
Oh,
more
yeah.
games every year.
The industry's booming.
It's
right
not
now.
gonna slow
It's
down
never
anytime soon, so-
Exactly.
So, what was the
Whatever
next
you
one?
guys want to see,
Moving on
let
to-
us know.
Absolutely.
But we're going to move on to our game of the show.
Wait,
which-
Far Cry 5.
Jump into Far Cry
I-
5.
I-
Hold off on game of the
Guys,
show. We're gonna
I wish I could
talk
forget about Far Cry 5. Let's just
Far
move
Cry
on from that.
5.
Ugh.
This is a game that I have not played. I actually had high hopes for it, and I wanted to play it.
They were dashed.
Yeah, they were
Very quickly.
dashed by you
It was-
guys
it was
when
a
you told
crash.
me
Now-
to avoid it.
For me, Far Cry 3 being one of my favorite games on the old consoles, the best villain I've possibly ever come across being Voss, even though he wasn't the main villain. You wanted him to be. He was much better than the actual main villain.
The shock that he wasn't, though, was good, too.
That was a great spin, and I
Yeah.
think that was their intention. From there, they
Obviously.
went to the fourth, Pagan Min, also a great villain, great story. Throughout those, you're crafting using materials from animals to craft better gear. Just innovative for its time.
Ignore
for sure.
Primal.
Agreed. Then they went to Primal, which not great, and then 5, which I guess a step up from Primal, but about 6 back from the third. Now with this game, they removed possibly one of the best aspects of the game, being the crafting system that made the other games what it was, the equipment and whatnot, and added something I don't know if they thought it was going to make up for it, being the drop in, drop out, full co-op for the campaign,
Which was good.
which was
Easily the best aspect of the game.
that.
So,
and the visuals were fantastic.
The drop in, drop out co-op, was it seamless?
No, because if what you did in your friend's world didn't impact yours.
Did not bring anything.
Before we go.
So you got
any
nothing
further
for
than
it?
that- No,
Correct.
No, the
So-
perks you gained in your friend's
Oh,
world,
yes.
you kept. The guns
Perks
you
you
got
kept.
in your friend's world, you kept.
Yeah.
Oh.
But as far as story
progress,
progression,
you
it
did not.
You stay exactly where you were.
So you could play the entire game with your friend, and you'd be right where you were.
Right in the
Might
beginning
push
of the
you for
game, which is
doing
where
that
I
too.
was.
But
So-
is there endgame content?
There is after the end of the game, you can still play, you can free roam, but there's no new content.
So there's nothing
And
after
as far
end of
as
the game.
the free roam in it, there's not enough content for you to enjoy.
and the
a
map
free
isn't
roam.
nearly bigger.
No.
Big
Oh
enough.
no.
No.
So there's nothing to unlock after the game.
Not as far
I mean,
as I
unless
know.
you
So-
can get all the perks throughout the game.
Basically, what I'm getting at is, if I were to play with you guys and we finished your game, and then
You'd never wanna
you
play it
unlocked
again.
the end game content, and then I went back to my game and I'm still on mission 2.
You're still in the beginning of the
How
game,
pissed
right?
off am I?
You're
Very.
relatively.
Especially if you don't realize that ahead of time and you play this whole game with your friend.
Yeah.
Yep.
You go
And then-
20 hours straight doing this.
Yep.
And the length of the game is decent for a Far Cry game, but
So
based on a game that its greatest aspects are its story and its villains, they fell really flat for me.
does the story stumble a lot?
Yes. Oh my God.
Too
yes.
much scripting.
I'm gonna say this.
Too much scripting is a
The,
huge
the
issue with
scripted
it.
amount of time that you spent, and that, like me and Slen, which everyone knows except for you guys, he's a buddy. Shout out to Slen. He'll be here
One's the
sometime.
man. You'll meet
Yep.
him in a podcast upcoming.
Yep. So with Slen and I, we played that completely through and through. And there's a part where I'm sitting there, and I went with the LMG because, I mean, why not kill things with a big gun? And I'm sitting there and I'm upgrading it, and all of a sudden, I immediately get out of the
Hold on there
store.
real quick. By upgrading, he means adding set attachments that
Yep.
every gun has.
Every gun,
Wait.
Not great.
They all have the same attachment?
pretty much.
Except
yeah.
for like the flamethrowers and the rocket launchers
Correct.
and the snipers.
Which
because
the-
snipers just have longer range scope.
Yeah.
Right.
Is it just one attachment
They-
per?
You can
No,
get
you
a
can
series,
There's 3 options per gun, and you can have 3 attachments.
and I think some
And that's
have
it.
more scopes,
And
some
it's-
have
And
less
it's
scopes.
entirely money based. So
Yes.
it's not like you're out
not
there
crafting
grinding or
anything.
No.
crafting.
It's not robust.
You're
No.
just
No, not at all.
you're
And
getting money, and the
I-
money in itself is either you find it or you get
hunt
it for
for it.
hunting. And the hunting, for Far Cry, the hunting has always been a really big aspect because
Bad.
you've needed materials for crafting.
Yes.
In this game, it's useless. The only thing it's good for is selling
The
the
thing-
skins for money, and that's really it leaves it feeling really
Pointless.
It's out.
So I'm not
Yeah.
familiar with Far Cry, but
So-
when you say hunting, are you talking about you are getting hunts to go on, or
You
you're
go-
just
Yes,
actually going
in the
out
old
hunting?
games, there were like legendary hunting quests where you had to fight ginormous monster bears
Right.
that would destroy you if they got close.
Yep.
There were actually just normal hunts. You could just walk into the woods and kill stuffs, and you'd need so many pelts to craft more
Whatever.
arrows,
X,
more bullets,
X bigger
explosives.
things to hold things with. Yeah.
That was all done through perks in this game, which they had the perk trees in the old one, which were also much better than the perk tree in this one.
Right.
Yes.
In this game, I honestly, I would find perks. I would have 30 of them, and I wouldn't
Wouldn't use them.
look at. I'd look at the perk tree, and I said, "There's nothing here I would want to buy."
Yeah.
So they didn't really affect it.
Right. Correct.
And they actually, and let's talk about the.
One more thing. As far as the weapons go, there are like 15 options total.
Yeah, that's very
Terrible compared to
tiny.
old games.
They
These weapons, though, I'm sorry, Jake, but I just wanted to ask this question. These weapons, do they feel different?
No.
Well,
well,
one's a pistol, one's a machine gun,
Right.
one's an
Yeah.
LMG,
Beyond
one's
that,
a
it's-
sniper.
Machine gun and LMG, do they feel different?
Yes, and the amount
Stopping
of bullets
power,
you can shoot.
yeah.
and-
But that's about it, really.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
There's not.
With the
in-
LMG,
in
I just
the-
had to shoot and then point the stick down and hope, and that'll
Right.
stop me from going up.
Just trying to kind of hold it there.
yeah.
With,
Honestly-
that, maybe they were trying to hit they're in the United States, they're in
Right, so
Montana,
yeah.
fictional Montana.
So
Right.
and they can't get access to those heavy firearms, like actual military. Maybe, but that's terrible for a first-person shooter.
But
That's
they-
not what you want.
they-
That's
Yeah, no,
what
it's
you should
not.
go
they
for.
did give you okay. So they might be underselling that just a tiny bit because they did give you 6 categories to choose from. One a melee, which all the melees are the same. Everything is the same exact thing.
It's a melee.
Not immune.
So
And as
I
far
could-
as underselling, you're just helping my point with that.
they, you pick up a lead pipe, but no matter what, it's going to be the same lead pipe.
Right.
Like, even if you pick up a shovel, everything's the same. I hit you with it, you get hit, that's the end.
Right.
Then you
Actually,
have a pit.
there was a when it first released, the shovel you could use to take down helicopters.
What?
So
You could use a sh-
yeah, a little broken.
What did you,
bit.
what?
Did they patch that?
As far as I know, yes.
Oh my god, that's awesome. So anyways,
Did you do it?
No,
No, you
So-
didn't.
just watched a video
So-
on it.
so they
I
have-
had stopped playing the game at that point and won't pick it back up. So
Jake's
Continue, Jacob.
trying real hard to talk
pistols,
Moving on to pistols.
submachine guns, assault rifles, sniper rifles, and then your miscellaneous category of LMGs, flamethrowers, crossbows, and rocket launchers.
Flamethrowers, by the way, most useless things in the game.
I
if
never
you
would
like
touch it.
lighting yourself on
Everything
fire,
All the
burns,
time.
so
Yeah.
you would constantly burn.
So,
See, I was just under the impression that the flamethrower was probably going to be pretty badass.
no,
No, sir.
not a chance.
Everything
just
around
pretty
you
bad.
will catch on fire because it's
And-
Montana.
Including yourself.
And it's Montana, so like everything is grass.
Yeah.
So you would literally burn all the
put yourself in
anytime you
flame.
tried to use it.
So the thing about this is, like, back to the actual beginning of the story. So I upgraded my LMG, gave it an extended mag, and then I get out of there, and then immediately, this is the first time I think we had that event. Now, me and Sen were playing on the hardest difficulty because why not sweat?
because it's Far Cry.
We
game.
don't feel that way.
It was a mistake. But anyways, we
Mistakes
beat
were
the
made.
game in hard, so I mean, bonus there. So,
Did it feel worthwhile?
fuck no.
No.
Absolutely not.
Fuck no, if you guys didn't hear that.
Yeah, here's a big F no. It was bad.
I played the game in easy
It was bad.
because it's
we
a
had
Far
just
Cry
finished
game.
Bloodborne, so we didn't want to sweat anything for a little while.
Right. So
It
I
was
played
bad.
it,
It was so
and
bad.
I
God
got
of War.
to.
Well, I mean, I can understand why you would play easy because the marketing for this game was to tell a compelling story.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it didn't happen.
And that's
Fail.
what I wanted. I wanted it to be really, honestly, an enjoyable game. I could sit down and relax and play, and not really have to.
The amount of
Worry about
scripting that they
getting
did in
shot,
was
and
just
it was-
horrendous.
Was so bad.
The worst
Don't want
part
to spoil
was-
anything. We'll do a spoiler cast on this some other time.
Well, okay,
but
so
we can't go into the story
we
at
we
all.
As far
can
as-
kind of tell about the actual events because
The only thing I want to talk about as far as this game is when I would be doing something, I would be all on my own, whatever, doing
Whatever.
some random
Yeah.
side quest, and I would get pulled into the story by a
Fucking
random thing that would just
scripted.
pull me into a story mission that I had to do
Right
and
out
I
of a side
couldn't leave
mission.
it, and it would like ruin the side mission because I had
So
to leave it.
your sense of exploration is
fucked.
ruined.
Yeah, it's
Completely
destroyed.
Flubbernucked.
And
It's a terrible mechanic.
on top of this, for the drop in, drop
it
out
was
co-op,
ruined.
there's a distance you can get from your host player before you get teleported back to him. And it's
Yep.
about 300 in-game feet, so that is just terrible.
Yeah.
300 in game.
300
Right,
Yes.
so it's not like you guys can go explore on your own.
You're not exploring at all.
You're getting
No.
sucked out of your
In
out
fact,
of your
there's got to be
airplane.
combat zones that
Oh, yeah,
you're
it-
going to get teleported from. You can't take.
If one guy's
You
in
can't
an
flank
airplane
people.
and the other guy's trying to do whatever, it will suck you right out of the airplane and teleport.
You
back
will
to them.
die.
And
Oh,
if
your
airplane
you
will
die,
explode.
because it won't pull you to them. You'll just be close enough to where you're no longer out of distance, and you will just drop
In the sky.
So
That makes me wonder why
It's
they would
unfortunate.
implement that type of mechanic.
I don't know if it was their first attempt at something like that, so
It
I don't
could-
know if
it
they
could-
just didn't have the capability.
and the only
But it was poorly done.
it also
the
there-
co-op was it 2-player, 4, or what?
you could have up to six.
I think it was
You got up to
six.
It was 6, yeah.
Which
maybe,
I mean,
maybe because of the amount of players.
that would have been fun if it was 6 people, but not
It
enough.
would have made sense if if you got more distance, if you had 2 players
Yeah.
or something of that nature.
You could
but-
go like an in-game mile. It would have been okay.
Yeah. Where it was something like you could actually explore somewhat on your own, like a decent distance.
Well, yeah, because there's
Or even
vehicles and
even
stuff.
circle around an outpost and hit it from both sides.
There was a point where
That's rough.
We both jumped out of an airplane, and because I'm a better skydiver, I got too far away.
Right.
And
I pressed the button too early, guys.
and it teleported me back to him, and we ended
Premature.
up not making it to the
Premature.
fort.
So they teleported you back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Instead of bringing him to you, because
he was
his
actually
game?
the host.
right. It was his game.
So- Wait, oh, you
he
were
was
the
actually the host in that game.
Yeah.
It teleports whoever has more momentum, I think, is how it works, because at another point I was the host and I was standing stationary and he was driving away and it teleported me to him.
Hmm.
Which was sucky because we were trying to get him to come to me
Right.
Yeah.
because he'd fallen off a bridge and we needed
You
to
were
get
being,
to
you
that
were where
point.
you wanted to be.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that
And
doesn't
there's
sound
no-
very good at all.
I'm not sure
was not
what
great.
causes it. Who gets teleported? It's just not a very good mechanic. And like he said, I'd fallen off a bridge, so I was literally trying to get back to him. But to get back to him, I had to go up and around a curve, and
mountain.
it teleported him back to me. And it's just, it causes a lot of annoyance when you're just constantly being teleported back and forth, and you can't really do anything. Like, my favorite part of the game was flying. You could,
A lot of barrel rolls, very fun to do.
Really, and it was
I
simple
really
mechanics.
enjoyed
Well
too.
put together,
Very,
yeah.
very, yeah.
Kind of
You could
Sly
s-
Cooper-esque if you,
You
ever
could look
played the
down.
third one.
You could see.
Never played it.
It was all the Sly Coopers were.
I never played a
Fantastic
Sly
game.
Cooper
You should
game.
play every
I
Sly
never
If you
played
look-
any of them.
If you
Everyone
looked, you could look down and drop bombs and
I love
things,
that record.
and it was really cool because it's an aerial view of a really pretty map. That's something they had going for them.
Yeah,
Visuals.
Visuals were the best
Visuals
part of the
were
game.
Yeah, they were
Visuals
stunning,
were
right?
good.
And
Yeah.
in my review on tsgg.online, you will see that visuals are the best part. It is a 4K game, does hold 60 FPS, so it was good in that regard.
Right.
I will give it that.
It
And-
was, yeah.
But you can the fact that I couldn't jump out of an airplane and do what I needed to do or what I wanted to do, which I mean,
Ninja infiltrate a fort.
right.
By the way.
As far as I'm concerned, my favorite thing is flying that airplane as high up in the sky as you can and dropping it down and just jumping out and ninja infiltrating a fort. That's the best time there is, and I can't do that because I can't get too far away from my friend.
Yeah,
And
so
that's-
that kind of
It
deters you from wanting to play
Not-
co-op.
It basically
To
shrinks your
mention-
world.
On their co-op trailer, they had a guy up in a helicopter and the other guy driving on the road,
Correct.
Really?
flying around. So
Yes.
that really bugged me there.
Yeah, they're marketing that you can do this, but you really can't.
Crop duster, not a helicopter. Sorry.
Yeah.
But he was flying a plane, the other guy was driving, and they were like, "Hey, what's
Yeah.
up?" But like,
Ubisoft.
if that happened, you would get
It was a
teleported,
mistake.
and it was just a terrible.
The companions were decent. Boomer was great. I love the dog. That was fun.
I like Peaches.
That's a cool aspect.
Peaches was my favorite. Oh, Cheeseburger was fun too.
Cheeseburger.
Not going into any spoilers there,
Okay.
but you'll meet them along the way if you do decide to pick up the game. I don't want to trash it too bad. It's not a terrible game. It's just
visually
not
stunning.
absolutely, especially on the Xbox One X, which is what I played on personally.
Smooth gameplay.
Or probably PS4.
PS4 Pro too,
also,
of course.
but-
Well,
Or
the
PC.
X is
We played on the
where
X,
it's
so-
at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the
The
best
X is where
console
it's
for
Right.
power wise.
Yeah.
And that was the 60 FPS was on my One
Yeah.
X, so I can't guarantee it on anything else.
So here's a question for you: anyone who has not played a Far Cry game, would they have to play this game?
No.
No,
It's
if
its
they
own
enjoy first-person
In
shooters,
fact, I think you'd enjoy it a lot more. if
they'd
you had
enjoy it
never
a lot
played
more.
Far Cry.
It's a
So
huge
if this was
letdown
their
having
first
played.
entry, it would be okay.
As
to
far
a
as-
first-person shooter
yes,
fan.
Yeah.
As far as first-person shooters go, it was. You
It was
had
decent.
a
I don't know
small
a lot of
selection
great
of guns.
first-person
There was no
shooters, so-
crafting system. It would honestly the co-op kind of killed it because of the distance thing. But
Yeah.
if you wanted to play it with friends and you just wanted to basically squat up the whole time and stay next to each other, I'm sure it would be fun for a first-time Far Cry
Don't
player.
fall off a mountain.
A good,
That happens.
good old-fashioned
You will be
cuddle fest with
teleported to your-
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
However-
both of you.
However, if you wanted just to play an actual Far Cry game,
It doesn't hit the mark.
Right.
what would you guys say would be the best recommendation for a Far Cry game, though?
Far Cry 3,
Third, without a
absolutely.
doubt.
Oh yeah,
Far Cry
Boss.
3 Blood Dragon, a decent add-on, but the 3 is really the epitome of the Far Cry franchise, and they'll probably never reclaim that,
I'm gonna say
that
that's.
glory
I
there.
agree.
Yeah.
4 was a small drop-off, just because it was kind of a reskin of the third with a slightly less good villain. 5 was, frankly, a disappointment in comparison,
Especially for the hype.
especially
Right,
for the hype.
It did have a lot of
Yeah,
hype. The
it-
co-op thing was massive. They mentioned, hey, look, you can play this with your friend. It's a grand old time. You're gonna enjoy yourselves. And then it said, oh, by the way, you
You're
can't get too
chained
far away
together.
from your friend because you're
Just-
stuck.
Don't forget to
Sounds
pull the
like it
leash.
Yeah.
Just
Like,
missed the mark.
And for a first attempt, it wasn't bad as far as like drop in. You could literally just drop into their world at
Mhm.
any time. So that was decent. Like Brennan said, I don't want to trash the game too bad. It's a decent shooter to sit and have fun. But with all the games coming out this year, like the next one we're going to talk about, it missed the mark for me.
If their goal was Game of the Year, it's not going to hit that for
wah,
sure.
wah,
All right, guys. So that's Far Cry 5 in a nutshell. And if you want to experience it, go ahead. If you have different views,
Let us
be
know.
sure to let us know. Tell us what you like and what we got wrong there.
bring on the hate.
However, it's time to move on to the game of the show, and that game is God of War. All four of us have been playing this game quite a bit one of us has finished it completely.
That would be me.
The others, we have been taking our time going
have
through
lives,
it.
is what he's trying to say.
Enjoy.
Taking their time, but I have 94% of the game, so I don't know about any of that.
Well, where do
They
you
also
begin
have
with
lives
this game?
on top of that.
Where do you begin with this game?
With
Because
any open world game, where I begin, I search everywhere. The first area they drop you, I will look everywhere.
Yep.
I mean, where do we begin?
Talking
and the
about
game
it?
itself.
Oh, man.
Well, we
Holy
don't want to
crap.
spoil anything.
We're not
so
going to
we can't
spoil
hit story.
anything for you
It's
guys.
very difficult to talk about this game without spoiling because it's just incredible.
Well, we can talk about things
so-
we already know.
And we can talk
So,
about prior things too.
Atreus, the
Well,
son,
what we can talk about
where he
first,
is.
as far as the
Yeah.
story, I'm not going to go into any detail. The story writing, absolutely incredible for you guys.
It is fantastic.
absolutely incredible.
It is fantastic. The father-son relationship
Very
is
touching.
nailed. They nailed it.
Boy, do they.
For,
Man.
for
What they,
a lot of us. Go ahead.
yeah,
I'm sorry about that.
it's just no, it's okay. It's rare that you see this in video games.
Mhm.
Something that I'm reminded of when I play this game is The Last of Us, in the relationship between
Fantastic game.
Joel and Ellie. And yeah, it's a completely different relationship, but it's one that throughout the game it is built upon in every way, and it's just magnificent. This game is going to be the PlayStation 4's crowning achievement. I'm just going to say that because
That's
I
quite
don't
the
think there's
statement.
going to be a game that comes out that's going to top this one. This is going to be, when people think of PS4, they're going to think of this game.
God of War.
I think I can't dispute that, honestly. I think a big part of that as well is the way that Kratos is hit as we remember him as the man
Merciless.
man of fury, merciless,
Driven
just
by
monster,
vengeance
driven
for
by
his family.
vengeance, revenge, and then they throw that son in there, and the way they interact, it's incredible.
Yeah.
So
He's not the man he was.
No,
he's
it's-
not the man
no.
you remember.
He's
from the
now-
third
He's
who
not.
murdered his father.
Not at all.
He's not that guy.
I mean, there are a lot of scenes that we can't talk about,
Yeah,
but you
this game-
see Kratos change
Kratos is a new man in this, and they really did it so well.
absolutely different than
New
he
God.
ever was.
That's,
New
he's not.
God.
But there will be a spoiler cast for the game in a future date.
There will be, so look
and
for that.
That'll probably be an hour, 2 hours long. Just
Mm.
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
a
just
lot
talking
we
about
can
it. There's
talk
so
about.
many
incredible.
When
things.
these guys finish reading it, I'll be able to.
I'll be done.
really
I'll be done
go into
tonight.
some detail.
I'm gonna plow through that.
Man. So the combat in this game is
Fluid.
different, absolutely different from all the other God of War games. It is no
Without a doubt.
longer a
Superior.
button masher. It is fluid combat. It is reactive combat.
Oh yeah.
It is unforgiving, more along the
Oh.
Souls-esque
Yeah.
type of combat. However,
Especially
it
at the higher
still
difficulties.
Right.
feels like God of War. Like when you grab onto an enemy and just rip him in half and look inside.
Yeah.
What's in there? Oh,
Dead
that's
guy.
in there.
Yep, dead guy's
It's,
in there.
Push it away.
As far as that goes, it's a lot more mature in a lot of senses emotionally because
Yes.
of the relationship.
Grown
between-
is a good term for
You-
it.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna say grown because we talked about this earlier. How I thought that the game itself was mature
Absolutely.
and not necessarily because everyone's. If any of you guys who've played God of War, you've played most of them. I didn't play the third one. That's the only one I didn't touch. But it
That's
is
I
unfortunate.
would recommend it.
absolutely
That's
violent. I
very
was thinking about it.
unfortunate.
I saw it at Walmart for $20. I was like, that's
It was
about what it
free.
is.
That's a plug to
It was
Walmart.
free like
real
2
quick.
months ago on
Yeah.
PS.
Was it
there
really?
you go,
I
Walmart.
missed
Enjoy
it.
that.
Yeah,
I
that's
must have
free
missed
for
it.
you guys.
But it was so it. But we're talking like you take a mature game where it was mature because Kratos just literally like took a guy's
Ripped
head
everyone
and
in half
took a
after
guy's
every
head and
minute.
shoved it up his asshole and then made him talk. Like that's what God of War 1, 2, and 3 was.
So,
Looking at you, buddy.
Yeah. In
This
God of
one-
War 3, I
Hollow,
think
one of
my
them.
favorite moment was Hercules, when you just keep pounding his face in until it's mush.
Oh God!
My favorite God of War moment before the new one was actually God of War 2, when you fought the keeper of the bridge to get to the island of the Fates, and he just smashed his head in the door repeatedly. Just kept mashing that O button. That was
smashed it.
fantastic.
So those types of moments are still here. They're still present.
Not
to
quite.
a lesser extent.
Yeah.
To a lesser
QTEs,
extent.
QuickTime events, they are far less common in this game than they were in the
Well,
previous
it's
installments.
actually,
and I think it's actually an improvement.
I meant
because it was getting
I meant
overused.
The visceral.
that.
Well,
It's still present.
It
that's,
is.
that's what I mean when I want to say grown for this.
Especially
Because
with-
before, when you think of God of War, it was blood and guts everywhere. It was a gore mess.
Blood,
It
guts,
was-
it was
tits, and
insane.
fucking. It was like rock and roll. Is what it was.
It was rock and roll
And-
Sparta.
exactly. And in this game, it's kind of
Sparta's
it's
great.
elevated. I want to say it's elevated. It's taken it. There's still that aspect in this game. The blood is a lot lower. They've taken it down a notch as far as that goes. The gore is a lot lower. I think one main part of that is the enemies you're fighting are more monster,
Yeah.
so they don't really contain that blood. And I think another aspect of it is they really want to. There's a kid in this, and I think they want to show you that this is a new side of Kratos that you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
And I think they really took that and they pushed it to a new level.
And
Not
for-
only that, but it's a new side of Kratos that you haven't seen before, and it's also a new side of Kratos that Kratos hasn't seen before.
Correct.
So,
well, not since his wife and his daughter were
which was so long
murdered
ago,
by
he
him.
doesn't even
probably
remember
doesn't
that.
remember who
Yeah,
he was
so
at that
it's
point.
like-
Also, time-wise, we don't know how long has passed since he moved from Greece, since he left Greece.
I'm thinking a couple hundred years.
because
At least.
Yeah, they don't say.
I'm sure you guys have
Do
seen
they-
the trailers. Kratos looks beat down, old,
Yeah.
rugged. We don't know how much time has passed.
And that's, I mean, do we know? Do you know?
I do not.
They never allude
No,
to
I
that.
have not found it. Maybe I can look through the
it's
game
been
for an Easter
alluded
egg
to,
or something, but I've never seen it.
By certain aspects of the game we can't exactly go into at this moment. Just basically speech from other characters in the game and things like that.
I don't know if
That's-
Corey ever even said it. He may have said it in an interview or something.
Right. And that's only you can
Something
kind of
to ask
guess.
when we
You can
get to
kind of
E3,
guess
boys.
with
Yeah, maybe.
you can kind of guess from what he's saying, the way they're being spoken about. But as far as actually saying, it's been 400 years or whatever, it's never discussed.
And back to Kratos and his son. A lot of us played this game when we were younger.
Yeah.
No families, no
Yeah.
attachments, and that's kind of how Kratos was. Just
Yeah.
cyclone of death, destroying everything in his way. Well, he
Literal cycle.
cyclone of Tartarus. Well, he finds his father to murder him. So in this one, as a lot of us take that step in our lives to the family, women, children, and all that stuff. In this case, since we're all guys in here, you can feel that. Like, it's a connection there that he's grown as we have grown, and that's definitely a strong dynamic throughout the game that you're gonna. In my
You're
case, I
getting
loved
a
it.
you're getting a stronger
You
bond
buy into
with
it.
this guy.
You
Yeah.
buy into the game, the
Should've done
characters.
What they're experiencing, and Jake just ruined the entire story
Story
for
for
himself.
himself, ruined it in just one Google real quick.
I
Over
was
it.
just-
Accidental Google search.
I was checking how old he was, but that was a mistake.
That was not what you wanted to see.
Well,
No.
now I can ask him about that since I've beaten it. I wanna know
Not
what's
right
going
now.
on
At
over
a
there.
later date.
So
Not on this cast.
we said no spoilers for the story,
Right.
but we're talking about this relationship, and anybody that has seen anything about this game, they know that the whole point of this game, because they've shown it in the cinematics at E3 and all these press conferences, they have shown that the whole point of this game is for these two to go on a journey to spread their Atreus's mother's ashes at the highest peak of all the realms.
Mhm.
So Kratos is also dealing with the loss of his love, and
We don't know if they're married or what's
we don't
going
know.
on there.
We don't know if they're married,
they
but
have
we
a
do
child
know
together.
that he loves her,
Right.
and so he's dealing with that in his own way, and
Which, knowing.
Atreus is dealing with it as
Or
well
silence,
because it was his
silence
mother.
and begrudging.
And so
And keeping in mind Atreus is a child.
And Kra-
it's going to be very
Kratos-
different. He might view.
in this game, Kratos, yes, he's a god, and we all know he's a god, but that is hidden in this game. It's not something that he's
Right.
proud of. He is hiding that.
He despises the thought.
And
Knowing Kratos hates all gods.
he hates all gods. Yeah.
Damn Skippy. He
Including-
murdered.
So-
he murdered a whole pantheon. Let's be real.
Yeah.
So
He's
there's
not
a
fond.
moment in this game that really stuck out to me, and it's kind of when you're going along, and I really hope this you know, I'm not even going to say it because you just have to experience it for yourself. I will say that part in the spoiler cast. So we'll get back to that. But there's something else I wanted to say as well that really took my breath away in this game, and that is the first boss fight of this game. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not going to say what happens, but I am going to say that you really, and I never got this feeling in any of the other God of War games because they were so over the top.
Mm-hmm.
This one's not over the top.
Great over the top.
But when this boss fight happens, you are two gods fighting in the world, and you feel like gods.
Feels like it.
In a way, no other God of War has.
Yeah.
I've never experienced that, and that is my ultimate favorite fight that I've ever experienced in any video game.
And while he says this, by the end of the game, he will change his mind. Because
7
I
different
can
times.
tell you,
7
in this
different
game
times.
is my all-time favorite fight in any game, and by far my all-time favorite God of War boss fight. And let's
It's
just say the
not that one.
dynamic of the relationship between Kratos and Atreus matters for that, and it's just done so well. Honestly, never seen anything better.
From what I've played,
That's why he wants us all to finish the game. so
this
we can talk about
studio
it.
has poured
I'll
their
get that.
heart and soul into this game.
Mhm.
And anybody that has a PlayStation 4 has to play it. And anybody that doesn't have a PlayStation 4 has to buy one to play
to
it.
play it.
Speaking
Stunning.
about that, they
60
have a
FPS
sale
as
for
well
that
for this
right now.
game.
I think it's the PlayStation Pro God of War edition.
Really?
Yeah.
It's on.
Did you not see it?
Shameless plug.
We're all
No.
about
Sponsors
free
us.
plugs tonight. Guys.
It has the axe
Enjoy
design.
that, Sony.
Yeah,
We'll
Sony.
roll you this one.
Sony, hit us up, bro. We'll announce you. You too, Xbox.
We
Let's
got
talk about
you.
this. We'll
Microsoft, PC,
Nintendo.
Windows,
What you doing over there, bro? We'll talk about
You heard us
this.
talk about
Send
the
us
Switch
your
earlier,
wares.
Nintendo. You heard it.
Any VR companies, we're down.
I'm down for that too.
Incredibly interested in the VR tech, guys. We will do what you need.
Different reasons, but I'm still down for it.
Okay, we're all done whoring now. Let's get back to the subject.
SAO to be real life, guys. So let's make that happen.
Back to anime. We were not that
The
far
best
behind, I guess.
anime.
The anime cast is back on.
One thing we can actually talk about. I know we keep saying, "Oh, we can't really talk about this because the game just released. It's incredible, and we want you guys to experience it
Exactly.
as you
Visuals
go."
are the
Hands down.
Visual- Visuals
best this
insane.
year easily.
Oh, yeah.
The one thing I want to touch on is actually just the content. The base game that they've released here has incredible content.
About 40 hours from what I've
From-
played through.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And my review is
side
on
quests.
That's good.
TSGG.online of the game. There are no spoilers in it. It's just a basic outline of combat, content, etc.
Right. And I mean, from side quests to collectibles to just the amount of things they've got for you to do in the game that don't even involve story is absolutely insane, and it keeps you. It's refreshing. It's not like you're, especially with the collectibles, things like that. It's not like you're going out of your way to look for something. You're doing puzzles. You're doing things that are really enjoyable, and say you're fighting a hard boss in the story or something, you can't complete it. You can go do these side quests or these collectibles and things, and really just still be enjoying the game and kind of take a break from the story, and then go back to that boss, and it's just incredible.
No, wait. No, come on. I just want to say one thing. Just one thing.
Go ahead, Kevin.
All right. So all I wanted to say was that as he's saying, if you want to take a break from the story and go and do these puzzles and collectibles and things, Atreus and Kratos sometimes allude to that, and they'll say, well, we can continue on the story, or we can explore, whatever.
Right. And that's a great part.
Yeah, Atreus is like, yeah, we can go forward, or we can explore if you want.
Yeah.
It's
I
up
thought
to
that
you.
was a really nice touch.
It
is,
is great.
absolutely.
And
Because the kid's curious.
A good
He wants
reminder to
he
you,
wants to
too.
look around the world. He's never left his
great
house.
reminder
Yeah.
to you when you're going to be unable to do those things again.
Yeah.
Cough, cough.
Oh no.
So as far as that goes,
Shit.
quests, side quests in this game, phenomenal, extremely fresh, much like The Witcher 3. That reminded me strongly of that.
Yeah.
Not as much content, which keep in mind this is their first stab at an open world game,
It is.
and I
Yeah,
think
it is.
it's
Hugely successful.
game
for
of
a
the
first
year.
try.
At this point, game
As
of
it
the
stands, easily, this
It's going to
is
be
the
game
front
of the year,
runner
guys.
for game of
There's
the year.
nothing going to pass it.
You're
the
looking
rest
at
of the
me
year.
like I'm going to say something.
Nino
now.
Jake
Cooney 2
really
is
thinks it's
not
not
going
gonna
to
be.
pass.
I'm just
Guys,
saying.
I don't
Hold on.
Well,
I didn't
no,
say
Nino
that.
Kuni 2 It won't.
It won't.
No chance.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
That
Only
is
thing I
Rockstar-
can think
that's
of
the
that has a
only
chance.
thing.
Rockstar Games always produces, guys.
Yeah.
Always
Look,
does great job. Red Dead Redemption 2 is not going to pass God of War.
I did
It's
not-
too early to say that. It's too early. I'm
God of
not
War
going to
is
say
gonna
that.
be
This
game
hold
of
on.
the
Thank
year.
you,
It's
thank you,
pretty
Kevin,
phenomenal,
for
Kevin. It's
finally
just-
just
it's
gonna be
just too
game of
early.
the
for
year.
hopping in.
I don't think Red Dead's going to be able to hit that emotional vibe, Josh.
Not at all.
I don't know, man, because
I
Red
don't know,
Dead
when John
Redemption
Marston-
1's end of the game.
Can we spoil that? That's like a
Yeah, you
10-year-old
can-
game
you can.
at this point. When John Marston
Tell
died
it.
at the end of that game,
Dude.
that was painful.
What the hell?
That was a punch to the gut.
It
And
was.
Playing as his son and getting revenge
Oh.
was phenomenal. And that was end content
And-
too, so
and-
that was
yeah,
great.
Yeah.
That was
God,
one of the
I hated
best
playing
endings.
as his son though. Hated playing as his son. I was like, give me John back. Come on.
But it was so good.
But
it
here-
was so
it was
good.
savage.
God of War will
And
be
it was
game of the
actually
year.
a really good in-depth look at that time.
You
of
heard it
US
here
history.
first.
Yeah.
The actual West and
Yeah.
how it ended with the cowboys all being massacred by the state government.
Yep.
That was a phenomenal game, and I believe it was game of the year.
It was not.
It was not.
No. Do you know what the game of the year was that year?
What?
Mass Effect 2.
Woo!
That's fair. I can accept that.
Acceptable.
In case you guys don't know, Mass Effect
That's a hard year to
tied for my favorite franchise with
hard
Dark
year
Souls,
to compete.
Yeah, that was a good year for games.
notwithstanding Andromeda.
So, oh god,
So
BioWare.
That was
Okay.
BioWare,
So,
you hear that?
BioWare,
We have,
inevitable
we have faith in
Andromeda
Anthem,
mention.
BioWare. We got you.
Please.
Just make it
Casey,
happen for
save
us.
Casey,
Mr. Hudson, please.
in Casey we trust.
Yes,
That's
I didn't even get
We
to say
have
anything about
faith
my
in you.
thoughts about that, but I believe Kevin. I'm with Kevin on this one. I'm just going to say that I really love God of War, like
Yeah.
beyond, like it's. As soon as I started playing with it, I was engrossed with it. Like as soon as I saw, like, because I mean, I played the first two and I realized that the whole point of that game is just to
There's
have
like
fun.
9, my man.
As soon as I played the first two,
You got a 1, 2,
Ascension, whatever, who's a what's it? There's a whole bunch.
Ghost of
Oh,
Sparta.
yeah,
There's
the
like 9.
PSP ones.
Back to what I was saying.
Great games.
I think it's going to be, but I'm not going to say that it is because
No, it is.
there's still
It's a shoe-in.
I'm going to say it's going to be very difficult
7 months
To
left.
to beat this game.
7 months left for them to beat it. For
Well,
someone to step up and beat it.
You've got to think, though, no one's going to develop a game in 7 months, so it's what's already on the
We
schedule.
still have
It's
upcoming
what we have
Spider-Man.
I know.
We have
Spider-Man
Detroit
got
Become
trashed,
Human.
Oh.
my
Hold
man.
up.
No,
we
what
don't
are you
know
talking
yet.
about? What do you mean
Detroit,
Spider-Man? It did not
Detroit
get
Become
trashed.
Human.
Just stop.
And then if they're going to do
I want it to
Smash
be good.
Brothers,
They
I
can
want
make
it
it
to
like
be good.
Spider-Man
Okay,
2.
yeah, but no
That would be
Nintendo game is gonna win
fantastic.
game.
PlayStation
I know,
2,
he
that was
says
a
as
great
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild one game of the
Smash
year.
Brothers is not going to win Game of the Year.
You never know.
I
love
would
Smash
be
Brothers.
upset if Smash Brothers
I
won Game of
love
the Year.
Smash Brothers. It's an incredible franchise that I wish they had
Huge
done.
part of our childhood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Guys,
Played
I'm
it.
just
It was
saying, like,
one of my Nintendo
there-
64 game. It was Smash Brothers.
There are still possibilities that there could be another game of the
No
year.
game is going to be
There,
God of War.
I mean, Smash
what's,
Brothers-
what's slated right now is not going to be God of War.
Smash
I'll
Brothers
say 20%.
would give it a run.
You're going to say 20%.
Smash Brothers can
something
give it a
else
run.
beats it?
Yeah.
Or 20.
20% chance.
Okay, that's fair.
Come on, be
Smash
fair
Brothers-
with me.
That's fair.
Red Dead 2
On
is
the
gonna have a
list
chance.
will probably be Smash
10%.
Brothers and Red Dead.
Yep.
And the
I think Smash Brothers
possibility
probably outsells it.
of Pokemon
I'll take
for
that.
Switch. If the rumors are true.
Oh, there's no
about
rumors.
Pokemon Switch.
It's
Yeah, I guarantee.
we're good to go.
It's
I mean,
a
this
mixture
year.
of Sun and Moon.
Oh.
It's
I mean,
like,
this year, if it's
they combine
Is
the
it
two
called
games.
Yeah.
Sloon? Or?
Oh, this
no.
it's called Pokemon Eclipse probably.
Something like that.
That's
Oh, I'm calling it right now. Pokemon Eclipse,
No,
Sun and
they-
Moon.
They've already announced it. It's something crazy.
Not a
But
Eclipse.
it's just a mixture of Sun and Moon.
It's
They
solar
combined it for the
eclipse.
Switch, which is really cool.
That is cool.
We
It's not what I was hoping they would do.
I was hoping for a new gen.
I was hoping for.
I want that Pokemon tour game again.
Yep.
With the pictures.
You remember Nintendo 64 when
That
you
was a
used
great
to
game.
travel through the area in a cart and
That's
take
kind of what I was
pictures?
hoping for.
That-
That was a
New
lot
gen.
of fun.
Yeah,
It was a lot of fun.
exploration type thing. That's what I was hoping for.
I actually think that came out the same year as Smash Bros. So that would be
No, it's
on
time for a
Nintendo
console
64. That would be
Pokemon,
very
in my
cool.
opinion.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
it's time. It's also time for
They need to
a
revamp
console.
the series.
It's also
It
time
needs to be saved.
for Switch Animal Crossing. What are they waiting for? I know they came out with that mobile app, but
What?
that's very basic. You have no idea what Animal Crossing is, so we're just going to go back to God of War now.
Notwithstanding. All right. Yeah.
Okay, so they filed names for the new ones, and they haven't given them an actual title
Jake's
yet.
giving
so-
us useless knowledge. So
About Pokemon.
Back to God of War.
Oh wow. Okay, fine. Okay, real quick. Pokemon 1 and 0 is what their titles are called.
Okay.
So those are just
Sounds
generic-
decent.
Those were the
placeholders.
placements.
Just working
Yeah.
titles, yeah. They're not gonna say that.
As far as
Which
back
could
to
mean a
God
lot.
of War,
It all depends on E3, really. What they're going to
Yeah,
announce.
E3 is gonna be huge this
Back to God of War.
just a basic understanding of Norse mythology is going to help you guys understand the game world you're in.
Oh, holy
I'm
shit.
not going to go into it. If you read Rick Riordan books, you're going to have some of that knowledge. Great author. Percy
there you
Jackson
go,
and the
Rick.
Olympians. But
Hope you enjoy
definitely,
that.
Rick, here you
definitely
go.
We're
recommend
kind of the
reading those
cover
books.
all for
We're
the
gonna-
plugs
might as well
tonight.
hit him.
I love mythology, so it's definitely a great game, and it's
To
always
be
been
fair,
one of my favorites.
If you don't know anything about it,
I was gonna say
you
that.
It's
can
gonna
still
teach
play
you.
this.
Yep.
And
There is a codex, so you
the
can read about
codex
them.
is fantastic in this.
So questions. If you you are a Norse understander, then you have a little bit of Norse mythology under your belt.
Yes, and
How-
the ending of this game has changed my whole view on it, and I can't really go into it or what's about to happen or
The-
what's going to happen.
The
with it from
question
here.
that I wanted to ask is how accurate is the
Well,
understanding
it's-
of the
it's
gods and
mythology.
stuff?
It's an entirely
it's-
new take on it.
Well,
It's not entirely new. With any mythology, there's going to be different stories, different tellings, different views. I'm not huge. I'm much bigger Greek mythology, Roman
I
than I
appreciate
am Norse. Just my knowledge base. I appreciate most of them the same. But there's some people we haven't met yet. We never meet the wolf, Fenris.
Fenrir.
Fenrir, my bad. Sorry, guys.
Thanks for spoiler, by the way.
That's a spoiler.
well,
That's
spoiler.
come on. I mean, to be
Anti-spoiler.
fair,
That's you never meet him.
yeah, but I mean, still,
you
kind
never
of.
meet a lot of the gods. Let me say that you haven't met most of the pantheon yet.
But that's not what I'm really asking. I'm asking is like, because there is
Right, you're asking me my view on how it matches up.
Yeah, are there like because there's a guy in the
Well,
whole
if you
entire
want
story
me to
that
go
gives
with,
you
like the world serpent we all saw in the trailer.
Yeah.
What he signifies means a lot towards the story, so I can't really go into it.
I have my theory of what we are, and I'm pretty sure I'm right.
You are.
I'm
I
pretty
can
sure we are.
almost Guarantee you.
What we are?
Yeah.
We as Kratos?
Yeah.
Beat the game. Get back to me. We'll go into that.
I actually want to
I'll
address
say
your
I'm going to
question.
say it when we're done with this. I'm going to say what I think we are, and then you're not going to say anything. You're not even going to wink. Nothing.
The look on
You
my
could- hold
face
on.
will instantly confirm or
Wait,
deny.
I do want
I'm not even gonna look
to
at you.
address
I'm gonna
Jake's
look over
question
there.
because I think it's a big part of it. So if for those of you who aren't mythological buffs or whatever you want to call it, the game will teach you a lot, as Brennan said. But as Jake said, to address Jake's question, basically,
how accurate is it? Like,
as
some of
far
the
as
storytelling?
accuracy of the
Pretty accurate
game,
so far, in
it's
my opinion.
in the gods and everything like that. It's incredibly accurate. It's a new take on it, and what I mean by that is Kratos has always been a god killer. It's always been his thing. So you've always seen, like in the old games, it was always you've seen a new side of like Zeus and things like that. Zeus is always pictured as a hero. In this, he's a villain. So you're definitely going to see new sides of every story that even if you are a mythological buff, you haven't seen before. And I think that's really exciting going forward into the story.
To be fair, with Norse mythology, gods are generally viewed as better.
Yeah.
Greek mythology, generally, the gods were ruthless, cruel. They could be nice, but generally they're very
Right.
they were bipolar essentially.
Yeah.
They just couldn't settle on an idea.
Right.
So with the Norse, it's a new take for sure because
So-
they're viewed as heroes.
There are things in the game that you're going to want to make sure that you find and get those if you are into the mythology and the lore. I don't remember what they're called. They're the
Artifacts?
ones, the boards that
omens?
opens up,
Oh,
the
the
boards that
boards.
open up, and Atreus stands there and tells you a
They're
story.
like they're basically storyboards.
Yeah.
Storyboards.
Your son's just going to give you a brief rundown of what they mean.
Yep.
He's gonna read it and
basically
tell
tells
you
you, yeah.
a story that is full mythology of events that happened in this
Right.
world.
Actually, though, they
You-
don't focus on the gods. If you read them,
They focus on
Events.
stories and events,
Yeah,
That-
that's what I just said.
that have
Yeah.
happened, that could happen, that might not happen,
Right.
that might
Right.
happen.
which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Right.
It's kind of mind bending when you
Yeah.
when later on when you start talking about them and thinking of them, it gets wild.
Yeah, 'cause
What I'm getting at
Odin-
is you want to seek these things out
for sure, there are
because you can miss them.
9 or 11,
11.
in the game.
11 of them.
I I found them all because I'm fantastic and these guys are losers, but
I have 9
I mean, we're gonna
so
get them
far.
all.
Yeah, I have 9 so
I have
far. I'm
8.
pretty sure
they're
I'm
pretty hard to miss, honestly.
They are.
They do make it kind of obvious because they want you to get that part of the story. They
Yeah.
do.
They want you to
There
be
are
informed.
there are other collectibles and things that they make a lot harder to find.
Yeah,
But
like
when it
some
comes
of
to the
set
storyboards,
items, artifacts, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's why I will forever remain at 94%.
'Cause, like, there's crafting in this game. There are gear sets.
Very
there
robust
are
crafting system.
runes for your weapons.
And
There
actual
are
like
skills.
leveling, and there's enchantments.
It
Game's
is
incredible, guys.
so deep.
I said this in my review. When it first starts, it feels like it's the most restrictive weapon use in any God of War, just because you only have like in most God of War games, you have multiple weapons to choose from throughout the whole thing.
You got the
You
axe.
start this with the axe.
Yeah.
But the further along you
Axe
get,
has
you
some
realize
questions.
just how versatile you can be with this and the way you can change your combat style with skills or runes. Most versatile fighting system in any God of War, and easily the best in my opinion.
With the skill in this, you
And
can completely change.
Atreus, of
your-
course,
if
also
you're
adds a
struggling
new
with a
element
boss,
to that.
If you're struggling with a boss, you can completely change your playstyle in 5 seconds.
Yep.
So it's absolutely what he said. It's incredibly versatile.
Yeah. So with the gear, you don't want to get in the mindset of, I like this gear. This is what I'm going to wear.
Like right.
You're going to need to change it sometime.
Correct.
There are. Now that I've realized that, I've made some grievous errors
Yeah.
that I'm going to have to go back and start investing in some better gear for some certain other things that happen, and
And
I have made a mistake.
Yeah.
there are gear levels too, so
Yeah.
Rankings.
obviously, like in a lot of games, when you get to the top tier end game stuff, you're gonna wear that until they drop a DLC that adds more stuff.
Right.
Don't get discouraged by that.
Do we know if any DLC's been announced or
Not
anything?
that I've heard of.
I'm not sure if they
I don't-
plan
I don't
on doing
recall
anything with
that.
this.
I
As far
hope
as
they add
DLC,
DLC.
I think they.
I'm not sure. Is a game where you are wanting it.
God of War 3.
I
or
mean,
something-
that just to
PlayStation 3,
play,
right?
just to play more.
Yes.
Honestly, with
Does
this
that
game,
come with DLC?
It did not.
So you finished it.
Yes.
Is there a new game plus?
Should we go into that?
I mean, technically, that's not a.
That's not
super
really a
spoiler,
spoiler.
right?
There is not.
There's not.
It's free roam after to find all the art,
Oh, dope.
all the collectibles and such.
But
Move
it's not
on
like
from
a
there,
restart.
but it's not like a restart. I'm hoping they add it in a patch like The Witcher 3 did,
Yeah.
and several other games.
Final Fantasy also.
Prey,
Have-
Final
here.
Fantasy.
Have a new game plus. Ooh, I'd be down
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, I would-
and all the other
Oh, yeah.
in the previous
Start off
installations,
OP, yeah, absolutely.
You had
You
New
had
Game
it,
Plus and
yeah.
all of them, so I'm
Yeah, New
hoping they
Game
do it
Plus.
again because I kind of want to slaughter my way back through the world already, and
Yeah.
I beat it like 2 days ago. So
This is a world that
and it's got 4 difficulties. So if you beat it on normal and you want to go back through,
Which
and
is
you're,
the difficulty
you're
I beat
now
it on.
you're now feeling
normal.
good.
I'm playing as well.
You've got all the abilities. You're feeling good, and you want to play it on hard mode
or God of War
in
mode.
New Game Plus.
Good luck.
Absolutely.
I don't feel the need to ever want to play it on God of War.
Nope,
mode.
It was
is
bad.
Damn
It was-
near impossible.
It was.
I mean, I'm finding
Terrifyingly
normal
hard.
at sometimes it's
For those
difficult.
of you who are better than us and want to be fantastic,
Good luck.
God of War mode, you can't change the difficulty after you select it, and everything kills you in one shot.
Pretty much.
So
Like, it's at least
enjoy.
2 or
Good
3
luck
shots.
to you,
Well, one
sir
of the things,
or madam.
Yeah, yeah. Good luck. That's all we can say about
There
that.
was a buddy of ours who tried to do that, and
Went poorly.
Didn't
yeah,
happen.
they had to cut it down one.
He said he
They had
played
to
for
begin a
4
new-
hours, and 3 hours of them was deaths. So
Yeah, so it was.
Start over.
I
That's
mean
not
him.
attractive to me.
Me and him
No,
started.
no,
Me and him
that's not the
started
way
on
to
God
play
of
this
War,
game.
and I said, I'm done. I'm gonna go back to playing
Jake
normal
was
now.
murdered by wolves in the prologue.
Oh, not just once. We're talking a lot. I mean, I killed them.
46 to 50 times.
A lot of times I've been killed by wolves, and it was unforgiving. Like literally one mistake, if I did it wrong, I was fucked. I got killed, and then I'm like, oh, I got to do it again. Good. I really
so
want that
not
treasure
only
chest.
like not there are so many monster variants in this. So
It's funny
not
'cause I know
a
exactly what
wolf.
treasure chest
A
it
wolf is not
Same.
just a wolf.
Yeah.
So you have a wolf, and then you may see another wolf,
Yeah.
and this one has poison. and
This
it's
one,
like,
this one was just an this
Aptly
one,
named
This was a wolf.
Poison Wolf.
poison wolf.
aptly named. This one is just a wolf.
Not going to hate, but
This was just a wolf.
better than
Hey,
that next time, guys.
It was just a wolf, but
Just the
every
standard wolf.
every monster
No, it was like the start of the game.
It was
He
epilogue.
was happening.
You
It
were
was
they were still teaching
prologue,
teaching
not
prologue.
Sorry,
Yeah, prologue.
Yeah, yeah.
You were still like
They
literally.
were still teaching you to walk.
Yeah,
Jake was dead 400 times.
4,000 times.
Okay, guys. So that's God of War. you already know what it is. Go play the game.
Hell yeah.
Right now.
There's going to be a spoiler cast coming at some point,
Soon.
so look for that. This has been TSGG Chat. Thank you for coming along with us on this journey, and we'll see you next week.
Ta-ta.
See you later, guys.
Later.
Catch you next time.